What's up, everyone? Kawaii here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are on episode 50 of the Weebs with the Roundtable podcast. And what are we doing for this special occasion? We are doing nothing special. Except, of course, just talking about our usual stuff, which is talking about seasonal anime. In this podcast, we are going to be talking about our mid-season impressions of the winter 2025 season. So joining me right here is Mad Out of Culture and Anime Review. So yeah, just the three of us today. Unfortunately, Mad Lad and Ryu couldn't make it today.
Mad Lad.
Oh, sorry, not Mad. Sorry, Memory and Ryu couldn't make it today. Or maybe they'll join later. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, on that, without further ado, let's just get on to it. So, the first anime on the list is Solo Leveling. I think this is like what, season 2?
Season 2, yeah.
Yep. So, what do you guys think?
Well, I mean, if you, I'm not sure whether or not you guys are into like hype action, power fantasy sort of anime, but for me, this is up my alley, and I absolutely enjoy making content for this anime every week. And most importantly, I really enjoy the story so far. Even though the story is quite straightforward, basic, a lot of people say there's nothing really interesting about Solo Leveling. That's not true, though. You get to see Jinwoo just flexing his muscle every time he goes and go to dungeon, and of course aura farming most of the time. It's basically a very fun story to watch, to enjoy every week, and everyone really enjoys some of the scenes that A1 Pictures really go about to animate it. So there's literally, I don't understand the complaint about it unless you're really not into this sort of anime, and I really hope that people can be a bit more respectful and say that, oh, this is not the anime that I enjoy. I might as well just sit back and just watch my own, just drop it, watch my own time, and not really go about to say too much on the internet. Which, not gonna lie to you, I've been seeing a lot of people saying stuff on the internet, say, "Oh my god, this anime is so overhyped." It's meant to be overhyped because the manhwa is amazing. So yeah, I gotta say, I really enjoy Solo Leveling every Saturday, and definitely one of the anime that really got people talking this season. Like, I see more people talking about Solo Leveling this season than any other anime this season. So that speaks volume to how popular this anime is. I mean, the season 1 was already popular enough. Well, to be honest though, the manhwa was popular. I never read the manhwa, by the way. I only heard stuff about it. I only saw clips of scenes from manhwa. But when I seen some of the stuff that happened last season, I can understand why people really enjoy the story. It's about like someone going from the weakest to the strongest, and how he maintained his humane consciousness, or his humane logic, is now we see how he able to like maturely handle that now. So it's incredible to see how Jinwoo came from weak to strong, and now he's now the 10th S ranker, and now he had the status as a test S ranker. It's about how he utilizes that status to go about to do his business. Now he cannot go around sneaking around, being a miner, doing some Zoolander memes, and just go about to just pretend to be weak so that he can continue to farm dungeons for himself. But hey, that's the fun part. But now the fun part is how he able to uses the status to help others, or again, maybe even be selfish to go to more dungeons by himself. Will he start his own guild? Now that's the key questions. And now in this episode tonight, we will see him fight another big boss, which I've been told is going to be a very much more intense fight compared to episode 6 fight against Tusk. So yeah, I mean, Solo Leveling is what it is. If you enjoy power fantasy stuff, this is for you. If you're not really into this sort of theme, then this is definitely not for you, and you might as well just watch something else.
And Anna Paul, I think you watched this, but then you dropped it. So
I dropped it. I don't have too much to say. I did make a statement when I dropped it that I thought it was kind of overhyped, etc. But that's more like, when I drop stuff, I usually also explains why. Mm-hmm. I haven't talked too much about season 2 actually, if I'm going to be honest. Now I will say that the one episode I did like was with the ice soldiers, or whatever they were called. That one was actually quite enjoyable. But I wasn't feeling for season 1 a lot, and season 2, and also because I'm watching too much on Saturdays anyway, so I had to cut down a bit. So yeah.
That quite an unpopular opinion considering how renowned solo leveling is nowadays. But yeah, I'm not watching this, so I think it's fair to say we can just move on now. So, next anime.
Wait. Before we move on, I need to just address something. If you guys gonna go about to just keep on memeing, solo leveling, say, "Oh my god, this show is so boring" and stuff like that, don't, please. If you
No,
don't want to watch anime,
the thing is that wasn't.
Just watch it and just don't care about it. If you start doing some starting a war, unnecessary war, you will get it. So I'm just saying you right now.
I can explain that. I actually wasn't planning it from the start. It was more like it came up on my mind when I saw that meme. So it's like,
then
here's the
save
chance.
it for yourself, okay? I get it. You drop the anime, you don't like it. You don't have to like rub more soul into it, okay? So just
that wasn't for the hatred. That was just because it was a little joke.
No, that's not a joke to me. So let's move on.
Okay, yeah. So for those of you who don't, who aren't on Memory's Discord, don't know what they're talking about. So basically, what they were talking about is that I think Madla, he shared a meme where like it talks. No, I think it wasn't not just me. It was like a Japanese tweet where they were talking about like or it was talking about like how the Japanese looked at the Winter 2020 of anime, and then like soul leveling, and then like what was it? It was like Medalist and Orb were all praised, whereas Sakamoto Days was like not so praised. And then Anapo reposted a meme, flipped it around to where it looked like soul leveling was the one that wasn't praised. So that's kind of where it came from. But
I'll probably put in the pictures after you upload it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'll probably I probably will edit in the picture once I get it around to editing this podcast. But yeah, other than that, I think we can move on now. Next up on the list, speaking of Sakamoto Days, that's the next anime we're going to be talking about. An anime that has been considered largely disappointing by quite a few people in the anime community.
Well, to be honest though, so Sakamoto Days dug his own grave by releasing the episode on the same day as one of the biggest anime this season, Soul Leveling. So you can say that the algorithm on the internet pretty much dunked on Sakamoto Days. So that's why not a lot of people actually talk about Sakamoto Days. A handful of people only post clips about it and talk about it, but trust me, every time I scroll through Twitter, it's all Solo Leveling and not a lot of Sakamoto Days on a Saturday. But that's just me when I go on the internet. But let's just talk about Sakamoto Days, and I gotta say, it's a very fun shonen anime. It is a shonen anime, but for me, it's just a very fun episodic fight anime or something. Unless they get something interesting happen in this episode next. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm starting to getting a little bit not irritated, but just a little bit like this. Okay, that's it. Okay, move on to the next episode, to a new assassin coming after Sakamoto. What else is new? So it's that sort of like mindset I have for Sakamoto Days. I enjoy the fight scene. I enjoy some of the character moments we have with the trio. Kind of reminds me of, funny enough, I saw a comparison of Sakamoto Days to Gintama in some ways, because the trio, the way they act among each other is almost like Gintama in some ways of form, but it's not Gintama. It's the jokes are getting really obsolete, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not really feeling it for Sakamoto Days as the episode progresses, unless, like I said, something interesting happens, like some big villain coming in. Episodes not back to back. No, my bad. Episodes not episodic. It's a back to back episode with a progressive plot to it, and that I might say something interesting will happen to Sakamoto. But the thing is, though, the fact that they're releasing the next episode for the new episode this week, you know what I mean. Like, for example, on the first week, they releases episode 1, the main episodes will come out, and then they just release episode 2 out of nowhere. And then people just watch the next week episode, and although it's not meant to be out in this week. So it's basically like some sort of like issues Netflix have with pre-release and stuff like that. They did the same for Blue Box. But yeah, that also explains why the hype for Sakamoto Days is not very consistent, because sometimes people want to talk about the episode, but then they talk about the next week episode.
Right. So for me, I think it had a strong start, actually. I thought it was an interesting concept of, him not having to use his own actual weapons to defeat the enemies. He also like uses the stuff from the store. I think that's very interesting. The way he's still like a badass, which I really like. I do agree with Mad Lad. It's not as interesting as before. I'm also kind of on what he's saying. Like it's getting a little bit repetitive sometimes. We got pretty much the same thing going on. It's just new assassins, but it's always going to be the same. He just being badass and defeating everyone. So I'm kind of feeling the same way there. I would still say it's solid, actually. It's watchable, but yeah, I kind of agree with people that said it's becoming a little bit underwhelming, but I still think it's okay. I guess that's what I have to say actually about this one.
Kawaii?
Yeah, and for me, admittedly, I think I am a episode behind. I don't think I've watched the latest episode. But for me so far, yeah, I actually am really enjoying this. Now, there's a lot of criticisms around this show, which is why I've said it's considered largely disappointing by a lot of people in the anime community, and that seems to be mostly from source material readers who feel underwhelmed by the animation, especially during some of the fight scenes. And as an anime only, I gotta say, I still kind of feel like the hate is overblown. Like, okay, I get it. It's by TMS Entertainment. They're not exactly renowned for having Sakuga or anything like that. They're not like Madhouse or Mappa or Ufotable or anything like that. But however, it's like there's a lot of people that just feel so negative towards it simply because of the animation just wasn't living up to what the manga delivered. I mean, and I don't know, like there's I know I'm an anime only, like it's probably not my room to talk, but I still can't find myself agreeing with some of that because like I still think the animation looks fine. I mean, I still think the animation looks pretty good. Like, and I think we've all seen like worst animation coming from like any anime. So also, of course, it could just be me. Since
I actually agree with you on the whole, like because I'm an anime only, and I actually think the production is quite solid actually, but I cannot compare it to the source material.
Yeah, and of course, it could be just me since I think my expectation when it comes to animation aren't as like high as many other people. I'm of the belief that the animation is not the be all end all when it comes to an anime. Like as long as the anime delivers well on like all the other aspects and concepts, I'm okay with if the animation doesn't look as good or as fluid as others.
I agree. I agree.
Now, and also other things I like. I do like the action, believe it or not. And I like how it's basically, and I also like the characters and the premise. I like how it's basically like John Wick meets Spy X Family. So yeah, I think Sakamoto is a badass. I like the other characters as well as Shin. Also love the family dynamic in the Sakamoto family. It's just really wholesome. Also like the Taro Sakamoto's relationship with his wife. Really wholesome stuff. Also like Shin and oh my god, and that one girl voiced by Sakura Ayane. Man, her name escapes me.
Lee.
Yeah, Lee. Yeah. I kind of like her too, although she does have her moments, like especially when she's drunk, where I'm like, it's not really hitting for me. I think as for cons, there's not really anything I feel too strongly about or against. Other than like it's not exactly the best. So far, it's not exactly the best shonen anime I've seen. But yeah, for me right now, it's just kind of enjoyable enough. Also, however, I will say though, I do remember one gripe I had with this series is I think during it was like episode 6 or something like that, where they were in the paintball match. and they were hunted down by that one sniper. And what was happening was that the sniper was shooting at them with a bolt action rifle. However, he was firing in 3-round bursts, and as a gunner, kind of a gunner myself, that irks me because I was like, no, that's not how bolt action rifles work. So yeah, that just that does not hit. That does not sit right with me at all. I get it, you know. It's we don't watch the show for the gun knowledge. I get it, but still, I mean, and there's plenty of other ridiculous shit that happens in this show, but still. But yeah, other than that, Sakamoto Days, pretty fun time, I must say. And still need to catch up on it. But I'm still eager to see more. And other than that, that's pretty much wraps up my thoughts on Sakamoto Days, so I think we can move on now. Next up on the list is Apothecary Diaries, Season 2.
I'm watching.
Man, I wish Real was here.
Yeah, I know he likes this series.
I haven't even watched the latest episode yet, but from what I can see, though, every episode was just Mao just being amazing again in solving crimes with relating to poison and of course some political stuff happening within the emperor's palace and stuff, and just going around just doing a thing. Like, I get that the show has a lot of like interesting concept of how Mao thinks things through. The case of how to solve individual matters and stuff, but it's just a very fun, relaxing anime to watch on a Friday. Just sit down and watch Mao just being amazing as per always. It's just like, I don't know, something about season 2 doesn't really feel as exciting as season 1, but who knows? Maybe later on things can get interesting with Mao starting to show a bit more feeling towards Jinshi, but it's just me, to be honest. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to see, whether or not Jinshi and Mao relationship will really develop even more after the season. But from so far, it's just almost like we never left season 1. Mao just go about, just continue to be amazing, just helping solving poisonous crime, and just, how do I say though, just being herself rather than trying to be someone different just to blend in. She's just being herself, and that's what I really enjoy about this anime, is how Mao just thinks things through her own mindset and just do it. She just do things. She just don't hesitate and stuff, and that's how I really enjoy watching this show for that reason. But in terms of like plot progression, nothing really much developing, to be honest, other than more political stuff happening.
Yeah, for me, I think I pretty much agree with most of the stuff you said about it. Yeah, so far, I think it mostly delivers what we love about season 1. Mao being just a great female character, showing off her intellect, showing off, you know, her, the interaction she has with Jinshi and many other people, in the palace. Of course, her, you know, being an herb fanatic, you know, just obsessing over random medical components and all that. And when you said, I also agree that like it's not like it's not like the story isn't hitting as hard as it did with season 1. I think a large part of that is because I think the stakes in season 1 were a bit higher than we got in season 2 so far. Because in season 1 we got stuff surrounding like Mao's like real father and all that, as well as her mother, and then like the whole truth surrounding that. Like that was, like, I think we all remember like how exciting that was. But we don't really have anything close to that caliber in season 2 so far. I mean, yeah, we did have that whole incident surrounding Lady Li Hua's cousin. But other than that, it hasn't really. Oh, also there's like those 2 sick women as well. Oh yeah, also I mean, well, yeah, well, we did have Jinshi cross wrestling, but that's not really as that's not really on the same caliber. But yeah, other than that, yeah, there's not. Yeah, I still wouldn't say that it's as, so far it's not as strong as season 1. Oh, there were some pretty good moments. But then again, then again, of course, this is still mid-season impressions, so maybe that will change during the second half. Who knows? We're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, overall, Apothecary Diaries Season 2. Very enjoyable Season 2 so far. And Anapo, I think you dropped Season 1, didn't you?
Yeah, so
Okay.
I don't have anything else to say, really.
Okay. Yeah, just want to make sure. Okay, other than that, I think we can move on now. Next up on the list, Dr. Stone Science Future, aka Dr. Stone Season 4. I'm not watching this one.
Wow, what can I say? Dr. Stone just continue to live on. Well, the manga finished like 2-3 years ago already. Wow, I can't believe it's already that long already. It's just that the anime is still on its final arc already. This is the final arc apparently. And now Senku has to fight against his mentor, Dr. X. His mentor is in America. And what really annoys me is that why do they have to everyone have to speak Japanese? Why can't everyone just speak broken English? Easy, right? I mean, you just speak some broken English just to show the fact that they're in America rather than, oh my God, look at this American, they can speak fluent Japanese. Last time I checked, American mostly speak Spanish. So as a second language. So like, what the fuck, man? Like, he had to come up with an excuse that, oh, Dr. X study a bit of Japanese. He sounds so fluent in Japanese, then studying a bit of Japanese. So I was a little bit like annoyed by the fact that when they're in America, they had to start speaking Japanese out of convenience of the voice actors because they cannot really force them to like speak constant English throughout the season. By the way, here's the thing about language: pronunciation can be very tiring. Can be very, very tiring. If you try to pronounce something like constantly, like if you're not used to speaking the language, and you have to speak the language that you're not used to and pronounces the word, it can have an effect on your mental like fatigue. So I think that's why they had to really respect the voice actors. So they had to like tell them to make them an excuse that the character can speak Japanese in some ways or form. So basically, Senku now have to face against the American scientists now and American soldiers in order to like find how do I say a concrete solution to working together to solve the mystery of the whole Medusa stonified of magic and something like that. So yeah, gotta say, looking forward to see how that goes about. And we already have a backstory to how Senku knows his mentor, and now we might get into the more serious stuff in the next episode.
All right.
I watched it one too. I didn't like the start, although I can understand why they had it. When they were on the boat on their way to America and they had the casino and everything like that.
It's what you call a filler episode.
Yeah, but episode. I mean, they kind of, I guess, they kind of wanted to show what they were doing on the road to America, so I get it. But it was kind of a weak start for me. Once they got on the land, though, it actually started to become more interesting, I think, especially with what you mentioned, Dr. X and everything like that. I actually am thinking if not Dr. X, like one of them should be the Y man, right? Because I think the guy was hiding behind the bush and he also said Y. So I think he was the one communicating with them before they left out on the sea some season ago. I also started laughing with the whole Dr. Taiju thing. I thought that is a very fun joke. Now I'm actually I enjoyed Dr. Stone, but after 4 seasons, I'm kind of feeling like can't this end soon? And I think this one is gonna have like 3 cores. But it's pretty enjoyable show. And I'm waiting to see now, what's gonna happen, if they're gonna cooperate with the new scientist or what's gonna happen. Most likely gonna do, because we know how Dr. Stone is. They're enemies first and then they become friends. I'm pretty sure something like that's just gonna happen again. I don't have much else to say actually.
Yeah, as someone who didn't pick this series back up after season 1, the only thing I know about season 4 is that one shot of Kohaku in the yellow dress, which I will say, as someone who considers Kohaku the best girl after season 1, seeing that was like, damn, That was great. But yeah, other than that,
I'm just sad that there's still no ship between Senku and Kohaku,
yeah.
and there never
That
will be.
sucks. That
Probably.
sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I think we can move on now. Next up on the list, oh boy, 100 Girlfriends Season 2.
Let's fucking go! Yeah, baby. No, I'm just kidding. 100 Girlfriends this season 2, the new girls isn't really as interesting as the first season girls, to be honest.
Ooh.
But yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The first one, Kurumi, how dare she call Kurumi? There's only one Kurumi, and that's
There
right
can
there.
only be
That's
one.
that is the only Kurumi. Well, funny enough, the kanji is different. The Kurumi kanji has the 3 kanji in it, but this Kurumi has a different kanji. So yeah, so it's different, but it is still Kurumi. And the moment that Kurumi she pronounced herself as Kurumi, I was like, yeah, okay. You dare be on the same status as my peak girl right there? yeah. Not cool, not cool. But anyway, that was just a fun joke I made on episode 1. But let's just say we have Kurumi, then we got Iku, the new girl. Who is the second girl again? Who was the second girl? Shit. See how much I don't really care about the girl anymore. The maid. Oh yeah, the maid. How I forgot her. The maid. Like seriously, the maid part. What the hell is her back? That's her backstory. So basically she got brought into the family because she is cute.
Sounds like a valid reason to me.
And then her apparently you got remember this. Every girl in Wonder Girlfriend has a very interesting characteristic or attitude to make them stand out for other girls. Kurumi, she eats. Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, at least she does something for fun, for the comedy aspect. The maid just follow orders. Nah, I'm not feeling it, to be honest. Iku is a masochist. Now, that is something I can sit with. But the fact that she has a very interesting backstory to why she's very hesitant to play baseball or do well in baseball is just like, oh, wow. So you're basically scared of hurting people. Okay, I mean, fair enough, I guess. But in the end, though, Chataro comes in to save the day. First, like catching the baseball that doesn't really resemble the strength of a ball falling from the sky, and he just stripped naked, about half naked along the way. I was like, the fact that Iku hit the ball and literally go full, how do I say, Shaolin football style, got half naked. I was like, oh yeah, this show is fan service heavy too, but it's just like the latest episode is just so fun, man, because we get to see some Dragon Ball reference. We see a lot of force wall breaking. We get to see all the girls trying the best to blend in using their own characteristics to blend into the game, the moment and stuff like that. And the way that they just blends into different girls' arc, to the girls' arc, to like fit into their character theme and stuff like that. It's just like, wow. They also really put a lot of effort into like making sure all the girls are useful for every new girl's arc possible. Because the thing is, when you introduce to a new girl to a story, usually all the other girls will be sidelined, and then the main boy will focus on the main girl, on the new girl. In this case, well, that is usually the case for the first episode for Want Your Girlfriend. Then the second episode or third episode, let's just say this is where they start to bring the girlfriend into the girl situation, help the girl to really feel welcome by helping her tackling her issues, helping her overcoming her dilemma and stuff like that, like we saw for Iku case. It's just like amazing to see how the author they're trying to really allow other girls to be meaningful to the story rather than, oh, you're now part of the harem, you're now sidelined and forever. That is not the case for Want Your Girlfriend. And this is why I really enjoy watching Want Your Girlfriend. As much as I can say that the new girl doesn't really provide much impact to the story, well, who knows? Because the next episode we're going to see a new girl being voiced by Lin. So yeah, she's going to be like the Ojo-sama. I don't know what sort of interesting, like, how do I say, extravagant personality she's going to have. But let's just say I'm looking forward to see what sort of interesting sell she has for the story now. But again, though, Want Your Girlfriend, if you enjoy season 1, you'll continue watching season 2. If you enjoy harem, you will enjoy this anime. But people ask me, is this my top 3 favorite harem of all times. Definitely not. Because the number 1 obviously is They Are Alive. Number 2, well, Tobu no Hanayome. Number 3 is a battle between We Never Learn manga, by the way. We Never Learn manga, or what was the other one? There was the other one.
Couplets.
Yeah, I forgot. It popped in my head one day. But let's just say, oh no, I don't count SAO as harem. But anyway, let's just say this One True Girlfriend is like my top 7 at best, to be honest, or top 6. Because I watched a lot of harem animes in the past. It's just that I cannot really bring them up right now. So yeah.
Okay, my turn. First of all, I enjoyed the We Never Learn anime, actually. But back to this one. Let's see, I made some notes. Well, I dropped it. I wasn't too strong on season 1. We already had a debate on that in a previous podcast. Now, for me, I guess, from what I saw, it's pretty much the same but worse from season 1. Although season 1, I still gave season 1 5 out of 5.
I call it worse. It can't even get worse, right?
Right, but okay, first of all, what I saw, eating contest, and then we had the maid that cannot open her eyes, and this might not be the right person to say this, since I enjoyed Migi and Dali, but the episode when they turned into babies. And they had the breastfeeding scene too.
Oh my god! I forgot that shitty episode. Oh my god!
Yeah, I did not enjoy that. That was kind of that. I think I dropped the show after that episode. I don't even think I completed that episode because that was like the nail in the coffin for me. So yeah. Now for the future of this show, now I'm not gonna be watching it anymore because it's not for me. But I can kind of see, like what Madeleine mentioned before, that the new girls aren't as interesting as the first girls. And I can kind of see how this can become more uninteresting for each season because, he's going to add more girls. He's going to get out of ideas maybe. And it's going to, in the end, if we're going to have to add 100 girlfriends, it might just, decrease the interest of the show. But we shall see. I don't have anything else to say, really.
Yeah, and I'm not watching this one either because, I did watch season 1, but I wasn't just too crazy about it, so that's why I'm not watching season 2. But yeah, other than that, I think we can move on now. Next up on the list, My Happy Marriage Season 2, a show that I actually am watching.
I gotta say, it's not My Happy Marriage, it's My Depressive Marriage. Because,
yep.
Dude, how is this happy? How the hell is this happy? I mean, yes, I guess Mio found a husband that cares in the end. Yes, I get that's happy part. But what's not so happy is that she's been targeted not once, but 5 times throughout from season 1 to season 2. Like from her stepmother, from her father, from her sister, from her mother-in-law, and now her own family.
Also Aruto.
Family members. Unbelievable. Like, dude, Miu cannot catch a break. Seriously. She cannot catch a break. But the good thing is, though, she fights through all of them like a strong girl. I like that. She matures so much this season, and I'm very happy for her. But the whole theme of My Happy Marriage is not happy at all. Like every time I watch the episode, I was like, is this supposed to be a girl finally found love, or is this a girl trying to survive in a Royal Rumble of people coming after her? Like, what the hell is going on, man? Now, dude, they had to now defend her against a cult. A fucking cult. Like, what? Not just any cult, a cult being run by her own family member. Like, Jesus Christ, what is going on with My Happy Marriage, man? I mean, I'm happy to see the Miu and her husband finally, her fiance finally kiss. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy they kiss, but the fact that Miu still refused to sleep with him, I was like,
baby steps.
Miu.
Baby steps.
I mean, they haven't actually gotten married yet. I think that they haven't reached.
They have signed the contract.
But they have no. They said I said this in the last podcast for season 1 as well. They said this will soon make them married. They said
No,
that
I'm pretty sure they
specifically.
signed the paper already.
They signed that they will get married. So,
Yeah.
but they're
So
not
they're
married yet.
fiance and fiancée. So,
Yeah, but they're not married yet.
but still, they have to make progress in some ways because they
Yeah,
want to.
but this is an era where you have sex after marriage. So I guess that's why they haven't reached
Well,
that.
before you go to sex, you might as well enjoy being at each other company, not like running away and being embarrassed. I mean, of course, like I said, baby steps. Mio is still innocent. Dude,
No.
the way that she reacts to the kiss is just like, yep, that is definitely a girl that's still in her virgin stage. So, I mean, to be honest though, like I understand where you're coming with this, Anipho, because they're at the old era of the Edo period. That's where they're more traditionalist rather than very modernist approach to relationship. But still, you want to satisfy the fans, at least make that sort of move in development wise, which I'm really hoping to see. But let's go back to the main topic of My Happy Marriage. It's literally survival of the fittest now, because literally like everyone is coming after Mio. Dude, the new girl, which I forgot her name. Do you remember her name?
Is it the tomboy soldier?
No.
Yeah, the tomboy soldier.
Let's call her that.
Yeah, I think Jin. I think Karuko. I think it was.
Yeah, Karuko. Yeah. Not only the fact that she was Mio's first friend, apparently, a girlfriend, but I don't know, something about her doesn't really sit well with me. I mean, the way that she acts and stuff like that. Yes, she's happy that Mew still accepted her despite the fact that she was the first girl one of the girls that approached her husband. But still, it's something about her action, her behavior lately. It just doesn't really sit well with me. I don't know. Something might pop up later in the season, but we'll see. But yeah, definitely you can say Karuko is still sus, and I won't be surprised if she turned out to be a girl helping out, working with the cult or something. Like there must be a spy. That's why how you think the cult leader was able to find where they are. There must be a spy amongst them. So yeah.
Yeah, for me, I'm really enjoying season 2. In fact, I might consider this to be better than season 1, mainly because of the character development we got between Mio and my boy. It's just so nice that we finally get to see Mio, gaining more of that self-confidence. I mean, I think she's already kind of coming a long way from what we saw her back in season 1. And also, yeah, the romantic development between the two is just really good. I mean, I'm glad we finally got the kiss, which is something that we didn't even get back in season 1, despite them, I think, pretty much being together since season 1. So yeah, that was really fucking good to see. And also we got new characters as well. Karuko, as Malai just talked about. I'm actually really liking Karuko so far. In fact, at first I wasn't too sure about her because I was so worried. Like I remember when they first teased, I think it was like around episode like 5 or something. But yeah, when it ended off on that cliffhanger, that Karuko might not be, who she says she is. I was like, that made me really anxious because I was really worried that, she would be another sadistic villain that intended on doing Mio harm. But as it turns out, that wasn't the case because she is revealed to be, the original, one of the original candidates to marry Kyo. But it didn't turn out that way because, of course, he ended up marrying Mio. So yeah, it seems like I'm glad it also didn't turn out to be some sort of love triangle as well, and that Mio was actually able to make her first, female friend. The friendship between those two is just it's really sweet. And it sucks that Karuko, it seemed like she's out of the picture for now. Apparently she's like in the city and all that. But I am really hoping that they'll finally meet each other again and we can finally, continue their friendship. But yeah, I'm really liking Karuko so far. Naoto, on the other hand, Naoto Usui, Mio's biological father. I will say though that he is definitely an intimidating presence. Like his ability to like basically gaslight his enemies, making them see things that aren't there or aren't actually happening. That's terrifying. I do like that. I do like how they establish just how menacing he is, and basically it also builds up. I imagine it also builds up suspense as well, because I have a feeling that into the second half of season 2, we're gonna get some scenes where like you're not sure, even the viewer isn't sure, what exactly is, if what they're seeing is real or if what they're seeing is just a figment of their, like a hallucination created by Naoto's ability. So yeah, if that's the case, then I think that could potentially set up for something very exciting in the second half of season 2. However, I don't like the scene where he was able to fight off all those soldiers in their base. Like that just kind of took me out of it, because I'm really wondering, like, where does he learn to fight like that? Because he managed to fight off Karuko, who was supposed to be like one of the best soldiers in the regime or something like that. Like a highly trained soldier at least. So to see him easily like get the best of her like that, it's like he's not even in the military as far as we know. But yeah, he's able to fight off all those highly trained soldiers, and that just like, I'm not sure what kind of sense that makes. But also there's something going on with Arata, because we see Naoto encountering Arata. I think it was like in the palace, like the prince's palace or whatever. And at first it looked like Arata was very wary of Naoto. It looked like he would, like, I think we did see him draw his gun. He was ready to defend himself against him. But then Naoto started having a conversation with Arata. And then after that conversation, we don't see what exactly was the end of that conversation. But after that scene, we saw Arata like lost in thought pretty much. Like he's kind of aloof. You can tell he's thinking about something heavily. But we're not sure what. As of the time of recording this video, we're not sure what it is yet. And now it does build up some mystery. But what I'm worried about is that it'll lead to Arata become an antagonist again, because that's what he was back in season 1, and I'm really hoping that it doesn't lead to that, because before he met Naoto, it did kind of seem like he was kind of turning a new leaf. Like he was really acting less like an antagonist to Mio and more as, at least more of an interesting character. Especially when we saw him, coming to Mio's aid back during that one scene in Kyoka's family's house, where she was helping that ailing man that was attacked by demons. So yeah, it definitely seemed like he was an interesting character, and it seemed like he was turning his life around, turning over a new leaf. So yeah, I'm really hoping like he doesn't end up turning to an antagonist again, because I feel like that would really just cheapen things for his character. However, I can't help but feel like there's a good chance of that happening, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, other than that, overall, I'm really enjoying My Handmaid's Marriage season 2. Also, speaking of Kyoko's house, yeah, his mom is she ain't shit. She's definitely already contender for worst mom of 2025, worst anime mom of 2025. But it is nice to see that she kind of accepts Mio in the end. But still don't like her though.
One word to describe her is tsundere.
Yeah. I hate using that term for her, but yeah, that's pretty much what she acts like. That's what pretty much she's been acting like.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, really enjoying My Happy Marriage season 2, and definitely eager Eager to see more.
Right. My
Like I
turn
said,
then.
it's not happy marriage; it's depressive marriage.
Yeah, more like my survival marriage.
Right. Now, for me, I don't feel as strong about this season as season 1, but I still have it as an 8 out of 10, actually. Because I give 9 out of 10 for season 1.
Ooh.
Still solid, I would say. Now, you guys say it's still not happy marriage. I would say it's better for me, at least in the marriage or the engagement for now, because she doesn't have all the suffering she had in season 1. You know, she actually had people supporting her, not just her husband, but other one. Because yeah, she got a lot of targets on her, but at least now she's not alone like she was before. So I see it from that perspective. And she's stronger now, which she wasn't in season 1. So I would say in that way, I guess she feels more happy too. We can see it, for example, when you mentioned Kuyu's mother, for example, how she handled that. You should stay here and clean. Okay. And she does it, without any problems. And she earned the trust of her mom. And just as you said, she went from evil to just being tsundere. So I guess, she changed her mind a bit, which is great. I would say I like Kuyu's father better. At least he has some more sense in him. But I don't hate the mom. But yeah, she didn't have the strongest start. Now for Karuko, I would say I like her too. Yes, she was a bit sus in the beginning because we didn't know much about her. But after we found out more about her past with being the former fiance of Kudo, and also, especially what happened after it was revealed that she helped them because she saw her father being beaten. We don't know if that actually happened or not due to his curse. But I would say the more we got to know her, the more I trust her. So I still think she has a good heart. And good thing also that you said biological father of that Usui is the biological father, because I was confused with that part actually, because maybe I missed some details, but I always thought that it was Shinji who was the biological father because he was the one raising her. I thought he was the one who had the child with Mio's mother, but I might have mistaken there because I was like, I was confused. First, I thought it was the same person. I was like, well, why would he take her back if she gave her up to the Kuyo's family? But no, it's the different person. So I'm still confused actually who is the biological father here and why Usui calls her the daughter. Still a bit confused with that. Now, one con, I guess, for the show is that we don't see Mio's sister anymore because I actually liked her in season 1. I remember I felt sorry for her actually, and I understood her. Not everyone did. But yeah, I would say season 2 is solid. I would say one thing that drew me more in season 1 was actually the suffering, because I could feel more sympathy for me. It was interesting to see her get out of that. While season 2 is more like, yeah, she got targets, but the marriage and she has the friends now. So I guess it's from that perspective, it's losing a little bit of interest. But it's solid. It's solid. I guess that's what I can say.
All right, then. All right, I think we're ready to move on now. Next up on the list, oh man, I'm getting married to a girl I hate in my class. Yeah, I am definitely not watching this.
I just finished the latest episode, and not gonna lie, the little sister joining the fun is just making things even more cringy. This show, the best way I literally can describe it is one word: cringe.
Yeah,
It's very cringe.
I'm not surprised.
Cringe. I mean, to be honest, they're not gonna lie. The romance, the fun, gaggy romance they have for each other, living on the same roof, is starting to get a little bit interesting. It is not. It's just a very fun show just to watch on a Friday, just to see how much more tsundere she would go for him until she really, really admits that she likes him. Even though there's a sign that she really likes him, but just that she doesn't want to admit it because she's a tsundere. So, yeah, let's just say I am not finding this romance show any particularly top tier. It's just a very fun, cringy show to watch on a Friday.
Yeah, I dropped this one, but I didn't actually dislike it. It was more like I had to catch up on it, and I was watching too much. it was cringe. I guess that was the reason too. But it has some funny moments. There were some funny characters. And to be honest, one thing that would encourage me to pick this one up also is that to see if the gal girl is going to join the romance, maybe. But we shall see. I don't really have anything else to do. I guess also one thing I don't really like with this show is that the comedy isn't really for me. So, like I do enjoy some of the comedy, but just the whole part of them just living together and yelling at each other can become a bit repetitive sometimes. But it is what it is. I'm probably not going to be watching this one from here just because I'm already watching too much.
Yeah, if you guys look at the list, there's a reason why I labeled it Abyss rom-com, even though I'm not watching it. And that's because, one, I don't like the premise, because, like, okay, you're getting married to a girl you hate in your class. I'm like, why is that even a thing? Why are two people that are supposed to hate each other at first?
Isn't that how it starts?
It's for cringe purposes.
Yeah, it's like, why?
Also, many times love starts with fights.
It's for cringe purposes.
Yeah,
There's nothing more to say about it.
And then, like, what further reinforces the fact that every screenshot of the scenes I've seen from this show, it's like, yeah, it definitely adds to the cringe, because it's like, oh, now she's at the girl he supposedly hates now acting tsundere, and it's like love triangle. I'm like, oh man, this is like combining all of like the tropes that I hate about rom-coms.
I mean, you're not really missing anything.
Yeah, I'd imagine. But yeah, other than that, I think we can move on now. Next up on the list is Zenshu. I've actually heard good things about this one. What do you guys think?
You're muted, Madam.
The animation. It's the animation that is what people are talking about as in a good thing, okay? There's nothing. The story is a typical isekai. So
I'll be right back.
Okay. But to be honest with Zenshu, there's nothing really much more to say about Zenshu other than the fact that I was hoping that the concept of the story is focusing on the animator and how they survived the harsh work life of the animation industry and stuff like that, and get to go and see how they combat production issues. And so, no, none of that is the case. Is the focus of the story. None is instead forced her to get. She just died out of allergy, and got isekai to a fantasy world of her childhood anime. And now all she had to do now is to make sure that the story doesn't go the way that she remembers. She wanted to change the storyline and protect her love hero. And now she is the main character in the story now, and she uses the power of drawing to help others to get to tackle stuff on different adventures. I was like, right. So we went from animation studio to this. Well, at least the latest episode that we get to learn more about her backstory to why she is where she is right now. So, yeah, I have nothing really good to say about Zenshu other than Mappa really went in with the crazy aesthetics and stuff. But yeah, I gotta say, I don't understand why some people even say that the show could be top 10, but it's not. It's just an isekai show that is well animated.
Right, I can sort of understand where you're coming from this one. Personally, I really enjoyed this one actually. Now, I also thought it was going to be about animes being overworked or how the animation studios work, etc. But it turns out that it wasn't isekai, just as you said. Although I do think, besides from the animation, I do think the animation is really good. But I actually do enjoy this kind of isekai because it's interesting to see them add, the isekai world of the game, or no, not the game, the movie or the show that she knows since she was a child. And the fact that when she's defeating the monsters, she has to do the magical girl transformation, and her office shares comes with it too. That's actually very, very fun. And the way she's drawing the monsters. Now, one thing I think is very good for this show is that I think that her before she was isekai, right? She worked in this animation studio, but she basically saw that she was the only one who could make the anime. Like she didn't see it as teamwork. She only saw it as her only. And after she ate that expired food, that's when she was isekai. Where some people think she might have died, but I don't think so. I think this isekai journey, I think she passed out, and this isekai journey is just for her to learn more about romance and the teamwork, etc., to get back into the real world again and finish the anime that they're working on. That's what I think. So we got her romance right now with Luke, right? We can already see that Luke is getting feelings for her because apparently he has some issues with romance as well. Now, I also want to say that the latest episode was actually really good too. I actually started laughing when they had the guy that was running for her. That was very funny. And I'm still curious about the cliffhanger with the bird at the end. Now it looks like that was the director. I didn't actually caught that when I was watching the episode at first, but we're gonna see what happens. Now I still think that she will eventually go back to her real world and finish the anime, because while she has been on this new world, I think she herself has started to realize how important teamwork is. Because before, when she was doing this transformation and making the drawings for the monsters to arrive and kill the enemies, she did it all by herself until she reached the point where she wasn't able to defeat the monsters. So instead, she used the drawing to make the stairs for everyone to defeat the centipede. So I think that's a way for her to learn more about teamwork that she will have for her work later on. And also, hopefully, her experience with Luke might add to the romance, because she's apparently making a romance anime in the real life. So I think she's gonna come back to the real world, because I never heard of anyone dying of expired food. Food poisoning, yes, but not dying. So I think she's gonna come back. That's pretty much what I think. So yeah, I can understand what you mean with the whole it just a generic isekai, despite the good animation. I can sort of agree with that, but I still think it has its unique moments actually. So I'll give it that. Yeah, I think that's what I can say.
All right, and I'm not watching this one, so I think we can move on now. Next up on the list is another anime that I've surprisingly heard good things about, the Guild Receptionist anime, or Girumasu.
Well, when you say you heard good things about it, it's more so the voice acting by Rin Takahashi.
Yeah.
To be very honest with you guys, people just enjoy watching this anime for seeing Rin Takahashi shouting her ass out every time she got pissed off for her character, and just seeing how she just go about to like fight for the right to not work overtime. That is so funny, like how she fight for the right to not work overtime, and how she say, "I'm doing this so that I don't have to go stay overtime for work." I was like, "Oh my god, that is so committable to you for you to do that." But you could save your the time being a good receptionist by just go and just be like a venture, because you're so overpowered. But no, she said guild receptionists get more relaxing life, better than adventures. You don't have to face trouble. You get to like go home early if you don't have to overtime. Oh my god, she is so relatable, to be honest. Like how she said, "I'm doing this for a better life. I don't have to work hard anymore. I have freedom," and stuff like that. But no, she has to work overtime. But and then if she keeps working overtime, she get fed up. She just go on the venture, just go out just to use a absolute overpowered skill to help save the day. But who would have thought that saving the hero turns out that he will be very persistent to come after her. Now he's in love with her, and now she's been discovered over her secret identity, and now she's being forced by the guildmaster to work as an adventurer while being a receptionist. So I was like, oh my god, her life just got more hectic. But hey, that's the whole point. You get to see how she go about to fight for her right to have no overtime. But the one surprising thing for me about this series is that we really get to see individual adventurers that really have us, the spotlight to the story rather than them just being a supporting character. They have a part to play in the story in some ways, and in this latest arc we're in right now is quite interesting. Quite interesting, I'll say.
Right. I would say this show has grown on me lately, actually. I started to enjoy it more and more. Just as you say, also with the different stories between all the characters. I especially remember Lulele's backstory with her being the supposed murderer, although that wasn't actually the case. I will also say, I hope I'm not the only one who actually ships Lulele and Loe. I think they work well together. They're probably just friends, but I still think they have some sort of chemistry. Now, with the show Girumasu overall, I thought it was just going to be all comedy. Like, oh, we're just going to see her work her overtime and beat the monsters. I thought that was it. But they actually add some backstories from her that seems to be quite dark, which I appreciate that. Now, we also saw it in... I haven't watched today's episode yet, or yesterday's episode, depending on the time zone. But the episode before that, when she had done her overtime and was ready to go out drink, and she mentioned this man from the past, I wonder still if that was the man she saw dead some time ago. And I'm kind of starting to wonder, because she's very defensive towards... what was his name again? Jade. But I'm wondering if that is because maybe something to do with the past, with the previous dead guy. Maybe that's like her shield. Maybe we see it from a comedy point of view, but maybe there's more going on there. But yeah, I would say not too crazy, but I'm starting to enjoy it actually. And as you said, also the voice acting is very good on everyone pretty much. Lulele has a very good voice, and also the colleague with the pigtails of Alina. Also, she's very funny. Yeah, I guess I can say that. I would say I enjoy it. It's an enjoyable show.
Alrighty then. I'm not watching this, so I think we're ready to move on now. Next up on the list is a romance show that I actually am watching, Honey Lemon Soda. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know. Madla has some thoughts about this one.
I need to walk away from this because the only way I can summarize my view on this anime is that it's so mediocrely bad, man.
Okay, well, I guess Madla doesn't have a lot of thoughts about this one.
No.
Anipar,
so I'm watching it. I don't think it's anything too crazy, actually. In fact, I feel it's kind of underwhelming myself, actually. Although I will say that the one thing I do like with this show is to see what was the main character's name again? The girl. I have to check.
Uka
Ishimori, yeah. So how she went from, because I still find it kind of the way that she's been targeted by the bullies, even at her new school, is like, wow. Why are they so against her like that? That is messed up. I especially remember the scene from when they were getting those other boys to find her in the classroom, and I'm like, well, yeah. But so yeah, that makes you at least understand her behavior a bit. Okay, she had it rough. That's why she's so quiet and everything. But I will give it to her. In the latest few episodes, she has become stronger, and that's mostly because she's being pushed a lot by Miura. And I think that made some results here now. So for example, we saw the scene where they were out. I think they were out camping, and it started raining, and she already had the bag with all the supplies they need. So that was good. So people in the new class are starting to appreciate her more, and she becoming, more just like one in the class. No more bullying, not so much anymore. And also the other girl that was the ex-girlfriend of Miura, she actually was better than I thought, because I thought that he broke up with her, and then because she was carrying the photo, so I thought that she was still upset and she was gonna revenge on Ishimori, but she's a good person. What else did I say about this one? Yeah, so I also talked to another reactor friend of mine, Jay Reacts, and he had this theory why especially Ishimori tried to help. No, wait, what was the names? Miura. Why Miura tried to help Ishimori? And he said that maybe in the past he bullied someone and he wants to make amends for it by helping Ishimori, maybe. I don't know if that is true, but that would make a lot of sense. But of course, now she's getting feelings for him, which I guess is understandable. Now, I'm not really feeling the romance so far in this show, but we'll see how it comes. But nothing too crazy. There are some good parts, with her progress, but I wouldn't say this is something I feel overly strong about.
Hey, yeah, I'm watching this. I'm watching this show too. Admittedly, I am 1 or 2 episodes behind, and so far, I mean, yeah, I guess I understand why so many people are praising this show. But for me, it's not as wholesome or as feel good as I would have hoped. Now there are some sweet moments though, because we do see Ishimori going from this like loner kid with pretty much no self confidence whatsoever, to a girl who actually is starting to get friends and who is actually starting to stand out more and she is starting to get more self confidence. And a lot more people are actually starting to like her. That is really nice to see. I do like that, and that is of course largely because of Kai's help. He has been the one that's been pushing Ishimori Uka out there, and that's really great to see. I really like seeing that development from her. And Ishimori I guess I'm just gonna call them by first names. Fuck it. Uka and Kai, I do think they have some great moments together. And yeah, there are quite a few wholesome moments, and then I'll give it that. However, from what I've seen so far, there's a lot of moments where it seems like this show has too much lemon and not enough honey. And that's because I don't really enjoy the way how bullying and teasing Ishimori has become such a big part of this series. Because we saw it. I mean, that's pretty much what that's pretty much what this series has mostly been so far. It's Ishimori being bullied by the kids from her previous school, and then there was that one scene in the camping trip where Ishimori, the signs were flipped, and that Ishimori got everyone lost, and people started blaming her for that at first. And then we got to after Kai's ex was introduced, we got that scene in the restaurant with those 3 girls teasing her, and it's like, oh my god, like this is like, okay, I get it. There's a reason why Ishimori, she lacks self-confidence. There's a reason why she's so glum, and all that. But it's still, it doesn't make those type of scenes any more enjoyable to watch. In fact, that's pretty much probably one of the biggest contributors as to why I'm falling so behind on the show. It's because it seemed like that where I'm like, it's hard to find like the motivation to like watch the anime and get past that. Also, this is something that I've kind of noticed recently while I was watching the show recently, while I was watching this anime, but I feel like a lot of these episodes are pretty much the same, because basically what it boils down to is that Uka gets teased or bullied or whatever. She has this moment where she lacks self-confidence, but then Kai comes in. She says something to her, and that gives her the boost she needs, and then she, ogles at how amazing she is, and then and she realized, oh no way, I have friends all along, I have people that love me all along, people are starting to like me after all. This is surprising to me, blah blah. So yeah, that's pretty much. I can't help feel like that's pretty much how this anime has been so far. So I think that's pretty much another reason why I'm not too crazy about this show, because it really just feels. I'm starting to notice a formula, a pattern at this point, and it's. I guess I could say it's kind of getting repetitive. And
Sorry, go on.
And and also one thing I've seen from this show is that there are some people, when I've seen discussions for the show, there are some people comparing this show to Skip and Loafer, and I am not gonna lie.
That's not even the same thing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That
Really, Skip and Loafer?
Yes, Skip and Loafer.
Oh,
I'm not gonna
no.
lie. When I saw that comparison, that just rubbed me the wrong way, because I'm enjoyed Skip and Loafer much more than I've enjoyed this show.
Shit.
But yeah, other than that, Honey Lemon Soda, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a bad show, but yeah, it's a little disappointing, because I really was hoping that it would be more feel good than it is. Even though there are, we do see some good character development from from Uka, and seeing her get more accepted.
That's kind of the reason why I cannot feel the romance either, because from my perspective, it's like father-daughter relationship almost. He's like, what is it called? Raising her, pretty much. And she's very dependent on him. So that's also why I cannot feel the romance in this show.
Mm-hmm. And was there something else that you wanted to say? Because I know.
That's pretty much what I wanted to say, actually.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right then. Other than that, I think we are ready to move on now. Next up on our list is, oh boy, I have a crush at work. Easily.
I'm gonna make some food because I'm not watching this one. So
Let's fucking go.
Easily,
yeah, boy.
One of the best romance this season.
This is by definition the real My Happy Marriage. Okay, well, they're not married yet, but
not married yet. Yeah,
but still, oh my god, I love this anime, dude. An anime that really not only the fact that tackles my age, but also get to see them actually being a real couple rather than being very cringy, high schooly, immature about their relationship. They are straightforward to their relationship, and not just the fact that the guy tries his best to, trying to be normal, but also trying to be a good boyfriend, but also the fact that he thinks a lot about his girlfriend and tries to do everything he can to make sure that she's happy, and if she's not happy, he'll find ways to make her feel happy. And and not just the fact that the latest episode that he bought a ring and stuff like that to commemorate the anniversary, 6-month anniversary. That's not really an anniversary, to be honest, but let's just say when the girlfriend was persisting about why he's been hiding stuff he didn't like just chicken away and run away and stuff like that to make things more complicated. He just, fine, I bought a ring, happy, dude. Now that is a Chad move right there, man. Not just make your girl continuously feel depressed. If you see your girlfriend depressed, you're doing something bad here.
Sign.
That's a bad sign. So you might as well try to fix things up before things get too complicated. So it's just so beautiful to see the fact that he comforted her and gave her the ring, and them jumping on bed and decide to have sex. The amount of sex I see in this season is just wow. I've never seen a romance anime nonetheless have this many sex scenes. Yeah. I mean, if you watch, unless you watch hentai or ecchi, then yeah, of course. But there's no ecchi hentai in the genre. This is pure romance, and seeing a proper how couple handle the relationship in this day and age is just oh my god, those two are too horny for each other already. Damn, they just went straight for it. They went straight for it. Like, bro, they are brave. The fact that they even go as far as bathing together and stuff like that, I was like, oh god, I really need a girlfriend.
Don't we all?
Ah, ah. My god, it really pains me. No, it makes me happy. It also pains me at the same time because it just like see how amazing these two just show how much affection they have for each other. It's just like, oh my god, I really need a girlfriend to feel this love and compassion. But yeah, gotta say, I love this anime.
Yeah,
You?
for me, this is already contender for biggest surprise of the season for me. Oh no, that's not just the season. This year, I mean, this is already no doubt the biggest surprise of the season for me. But
We're still
already
in winter.
contender. Yeah,
We're
already
still
contender
in
for
winter.
biggest contender. Already contender for biggest contender for biggest surprise of the year, because I remember when I was actually reluctant to get into the show at first, because I remember when I first saw the premise of the P, I was like, okay, this is probably one of those, supposedly adult romance shows where, they're just teasing a potential relationship. They're not actually going to get together until the very end or something. I thought it was going to be like that. So imagine my surprise when I watched the first episode and it is revealed that not only are they, already together, not only are they already in a relationship, but they start having sex like at the end of the first episode, it's obvious that they don't actually show, of course, but it's obvious that they had sex, and so yeah, to see that is something I never thought I would actually see in a non-hentai romance anime. I can probably count on one hand the amount of times that I saw a sex scene in an anime that wasn't considered a hentai. I think only a few pop into mind. I remember there was that sex scene between Shiro and Sakura in the Heaven's Feel Lost Butterfly.
Face Day Night is meant to be edgy,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It started off as an eroge series. And then I remember, like, as mediocre as the show was, I remember there was a sex scene on the anime Island.
Island.
Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys remember that. But I'm sure there might be a couple more that I'm missing, but I don't know. But yeah, just sex scenes and anime in general. That's something that's very rare. Extremely rare, few and far between. But in this anime, like after episode 1, there have been so many, like a lot more sex scenes, and they play it off like it's normal, which it is. And that's what makes the anime so great, because like that's what couples actually do. That's what a healthy relationship is supposed to be about. Even though I would not really know anything about that, but still, I mean, from what I've heard at least, that's what a normal healthy relationship is supposed to be. It's perfectly normal for boyfriend or girlfriend to do the dirty. So yeah, also there's also a lot of kiss scenes as well. I've said this before on Twitter, but yeah, with the amount of kiss scenes that we've got in each episode, it's basically like adult hetero version of Sakura Trick. But yeah, I remember like when I watched those episodes and just seeing the bond and the romance and the chemistry between our main couple. It reminded me so much of how I felt when I first watched A Sign of Affection. Even though that anime didn't have any sex scenes, I remember because I feel like that was also like a depiction of what like a healthy relationship was like. Because we saw like in that and in The Sign of Affection, we also saw the main couple kissing. Also, we saw them like cuddling and watching a movie together, which is also something that like a couples do, like in a normal healthy relationship. So yeah, that's just what makes this anime so refreshing compared to many other romance and rom-com shows, where it seems like it takes forever for the relationship to actually develop, and where you see like just these so many miscommunications and misunderstandings. And thank God, and this anime doesn't really have any of that, which I really do appreciate. Like it really, like you really get the sense, this is these are really adults that we're talking about here. And speaking of adults, I like how it's not just like as great as romance is. What's also great about this anime is the whole work environment and the whole work environment surrounding this show. I like how we also got to see both Yui and Masuga, I believe that's his name. They're striving toward. They have their own They have their own goals and their own ambitions they want to work for, and we do get to see that. So far mainly from Yui, but we do get to see her, succeed and fail when it comes to trying to reach her own goals, and it's really great to see. Also, it's really great to see Masugu supporting her through all that as well. Yeah, that was really good. I also feel like what makes the office atmosphere so good in this anime is that I feel like with other office shows, like office romance shows, like other like slice of life shows that takes place in like an office type environment, I feel like sometimes the office environment is treated like an afterthought. Like there's not much like attention going on when it comes to like the actual work, dynamic. So that's definitely great to see from this anime. Also like the side characters as well. As for any cons I could possibly give when it comes to this anime, if I absolutely had to give a con for this anime, it would be, first of all, we don't see, like earlier I mentioned that it's nice to see Yui just striving for her own goals and all that, and Masugu supporting her through it all. But what I would like to see is the other way around. I want to see Masugu striving towards his own goals and Yui supporting him through all that. I mean, we all know that she is gonna do it, but that's still something I would like to see, because I feel like for the most part it is it's been mostly Masugu supporting Yui in making her feel good. In more ways.
Make her feel good.
Yeah, in more ways than one. But we haven't exactly seen the other way around too much. So yeah, that's something I would like to see more. Also we have. It seemed like I remember a couple times the show seems to be teasing like a possible relationship between Soulmate and I think that one lady that was supposed to be like her boss, his boss. And that is something. Now, I've said before that I like it when a romance anime. I really like when a romance anime explores not just the main couple relationship, but possible side character relationships. That's like my bread and butter. But, however, with Soulmate and that, oh my god, I need to pull up her name, because I know she's voiced by Shizuka Ito. Soulmate and that one woman. I think I do remember. I do. If I recall correctly, she is supposed to be Shizuno. I think that's her name. Shizuno Hayakawa. I think I do recall that she was supposed to be like his boss and all that. And that's, to be honest, like there are some people that are rooting for that, for them to get into a relationship. However, that's kind of something that I don't want to happen, because here's the thing: dating your coworker, that's one thing, but dating your boss, like that is like a whole other can of worms. I mean, if they do manage to make it work, great, good for them. But the premise surrounding that possible relationship, that's not sure how I feel about that one, to be honest. Also, there was I think it was back in episode 6, but that one dude, I think he was like that. I think he was some sort of like department director. But he was like, I think he's voiced by. Is he voiced by Jinichi Swapi? I don't think so. I think he's voiced by someone else. Oh, here it is. Yeah, Hirome Kirabayashi. This dude. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but I had this dude came off as hella sus when he was first introduced. And I just had really bad vibes coming out of him because like, nah, because in episode 6 he was like the department director that Yui, he really like he saw Yui's hard work, and then he wanted her to see her succeed and all that. He wanted to like promote her or something. I just got really bad vibes from him because, first of all, I just felt like he was just too accepting of Yui's hard work. I mean, because, like, and then, so I thought, like, and it seemed like he really wanted Yui to, like, work with him. So I got really bad vibes from that because it really did kind of seem like I was hoping it wouldn't happen, but I was kind of getting, like, I'm not gonna lie, I was getting NTR vibes from that. So I don't know if it's just me, but yeah, I was really on edge during that whole interaction between, like, especially when it was just those two in a room together. I was really on edge. But luckily it didn't turn out that way. Also, like, his voice and his demeanor, it was kind of off-putting. But luckily nothing bad came out of it, for now at least. But still, I'm kind of worried about him. But yeah, other than that, overall, this is just such a really refreshing, really enjoyable anime. It is so nice to get like a really good, like an actual good adult oriented romance anime. And yeah, and I can't wait to see more.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, obviously, I'm still waiting for the last episode of the season just to fully have a concrete opinion on it. But basing on how the story is developing, you can see that, as the relationship goes for another 6 more months, there will be, how to say, things gonna get in their way, and that is gonna be very fun to see how would they tackle that issue. Like, when I say that though, like, maybe sometime later there'll be colleagues start to be a little bit more persistent in looking for their relation, looking to see who's dating who, whether or not the work can get the better of them. Maybe sometimes work life can have an impact on relationship. I mean, of course, you can see that work life can already start to show signs of impact on their relationship, but they're able to overcome it. But it's just like something about like what to come later in this another 6 more months. It's just going to be a real test for them. So I'm more curious to see how would they handle that.
Yeah, speaking of colleagues, that's another thing I want to touch up on because for a show called, I mean, the alternate name for the show is Can You Keep a Secret? And so far, they don't seem to be doing a good job at keeping a secret. I mean, Masuku can't even keep the ring a secret from his own girlfriend. So, I mean, from what we've seen so far, it definitely, I think they're, like, you can tell, like, so far, at the time of recording this video, their colleagues, they don't seem to be, they don't know just yet. But the cracks are definitely starting to slip. Like it's starting to spill out little by little. Especially with Yui getting the ring, and now she's not even keeping that ring a secret. Like, she's wearing it at work.
I mean, why not? Why not?
Now, I get it. It means so much to her, but damn, like, I really do feel like I really am wondering when is it all just gonna slip out? When is it all gonna just be laid bare? When are the colleagues just really gonna just find out? And when is the truth?
That's what I'm worried about for them is that sooner or later, it's gonna slip. It's gonna slip out in some ways. So, well, I mean, either way, I mean, I'm happy for them that they're in a very happy relationship. It's just that, how much longer can you keep the secret from your colleagues? Because like eventually someone's gonna start asking too much. If you know what I mean.
And also, like, dating your colleague, dating your coworker, that in itself is considered a taboo in many places. So that's another obstacle that they're gonna have to, this series is gonna have to overcome. But yeah, other than that, I think we can move on now. So, next up on the list is a show that I am now watching, Medaka Kuroiwa. What do you guys think?
I'm behind on this one. I watched like
Which one?
Medaka Kuroiwa.
Metaka Kuriwa. Oh, this shit. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
I don't have much to say either, actually.
Oh, okay. All right, well, I guess we can skip that one. All right. Next one on the list is Hanako-kun Season 2. I know I'm definitely watching this one. Madeline, I think you're watching this one too, right?
Yes, but
Okay.
I think I might as well let you have the spotlight for this since you're doing reaction for it. I think I'll save my opinion for the end of the season podcast.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Hanako-kun Season 2. I put Season 1 as my anime of the year back in 2020. And so yeah, as you can probably imagine, I was really looking forward to Season 2. And so far, I'm really liking Season 2. It's pretty much... it pretty much recaptures most of what I loved about Season 1. I love Nene, Hanako, Ko. Fantastic characters. Really likable characters, as always. Really loving the bond those three had together. And also... it definitely seems like Hanako and Nene's relationship has gotten quite a bit of development. Really great development in this season as well. Because first we saw the Nene kissing Hanako. Well, not on the lips, not yet. But kissing Hanako on the cheek and on the forehead. And one of those, and that kiss on the forehead went to a young Hanako, back when he was still Yugi Amane. So I even said in my live reaction, this is a ship that literally spans decades. You know, that's what makes Hanako and Nene pretty much the OTP of the series. So we got some really great development from them. Ko, great as always. And also we got to see, especially from the last episode, we got to see more of him with Mitsuba. That was also really nice. Once again, I love the Studio Lurch does it again. You know, bringing back the cute art style, cute and colorful art style. Love the comedy. And I think there was some action. No, actually, no. I don't think there was a lot. There wasn't as much action as we got from Season 1. We did get quite a bit of mystery though, especially with what's going on with the latest episode, when it seemed like Nene and Ko, they seem to be some sort of alternate reality created by that one artist girl apparition. That was definitely fucking crazy. Can't wait to see more of that. But yeah, other than that, I don't think... Oh yeah, there was that big ass reveal that big ass plot twist that was revealed back in episode 2, which is, spoiler alert, Nene is on a limited lifespan. She doesn't have much time to live. She is apparently going to die in like about a year. So that's definitely good. That's easily the biggest mystery in the series so far. And I have wondered in my live reaction, what that can mean for the series. Is she going to be killed off? But I have already for those who haven't seen my live reaction, I have already theorized that what's most likely going to happen is that Nene, the prophecy will come true. Nene will end up dying, but I think what's most likely going to happen is that she's not going to be she is going to die, but she's not going to be killed off completely. What's going to happen is that she'll live the rest of eternity, I guess, as an apparition with Hanako. So and I think that's a good way for her to not exactly be killed off, because she is one of the main characters and such a likable character. but it also give an opportunity for for that prophecy to still come true. Because I believe it did say in the series that what happens in the future can't be changed or whatever. It's already set in stone. So that's a good opportunity for that to not be contradicted. It also gives opportunity for the Hanako ship and the Hanako Nene ship to finally come to fruition. So yeah, other than that, I don't think I have really much else to say other than Hanako-kun season 2 really fucking enjoyable. I don't know if it's gonna be. I don't know as of yet if it's still gonna be like an anime of the year. If it's gonna be an anime year of the contender, just like the first season. But I'm just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all I have to say. And Anapo, you're not watching this, right?
Which show?
Hanako-kun season 2.
No.
Okay. All right, then I think we can move on now. Next up on the list is Ameku M.D. I know, man. I know Ryu and Memory had some thoughts on this, but they are not here.
Let's cook.
Oh,
Let's cook.
Yeah.
Let's cook.
I know you have some thoughts on this too.
Let's cook. Oh my god. My god. Well, I mean, obviously, if you really into medical detective. I mean, there is a drama show for it. I forgot what it's called, but
House M.D.
Man, House M.D. Yeah, that's the one. Oh my god. Where do I start with this? Well, first things first. Great casting choice for Sakura Ayane to voice our main girl. It's just the fact that, why does she have to go for the annoying voice? But it's just like, I was hoping this will turn to like, I don't know, one of those like medical drama shows, like where you see like Good Doctor, that sort of anime, that sort of TV show. I was hoping it turned out to be something like that, but no. House M.D. the anime. But my god, I am not a fan of detective show using medical stuff, to be honest. I mean, I like the theme, I like the concept of it. It's just that I don't know, something about medicine and mystery solving. No, I don't think. But although I do like the fact that in the latest episode is more focused on using medical knowledge to like get them out of trouble with the mom, which she's fucked up at it. But the dinosaur arc, the motorcycle arc, the house burning arc.
The house burning arc. I think the motorcycle and the house burning are the same arc.
I know. That's why I wanted to put it in the same. That's why I said motorcycle arc, because motorcycle apparently a big part in this series. It's just like, I don't know, something about those arc. It just made me like, why? Just why? Just focus on medicine. Why did you throw in some curse shit and stuff like that? I was like, just make this into a detective anime. If you make this into a Sherlock Holmes anime, if you're gonna keep it that way. I'm pretty sure Sherlock Holmes has some good medical knowledge too. Why you turn this lolly of a doctor into a detective? Like, I mean, I'm trying to like this show. Don't get me wrong. And watching Dr. Mike react to the anime, you can tell that he's having fun reacting to the anime, because he can already see that this anime is going to be great, have one of the weirdest plot line already. Mm-hmm. So, a dinosaur teeth to chop up the leg. Yo, where's the security? Where was the security? Oh my god.
Non-existent.
Where was the security in the museum? Why he just walked into the museum like it was just like an open public park or something? Like, oh my god. The first 2 episodes were like, huh? So you're telling me the blue blood is from him injecting those coloring for those chlorine something from the aquarium? What? And then you have a dinosaur teeth chopping off his leg, and he die, and then the doctor is a culprit because he's the underground doctor. It's like,
To be fair, I did watch Dr. Mike's video, and he did say there was like some truth to that because the blue blood actually came from the anesthetics that the underground doctor used.
yeah, it's not really anesthetic, to be honest. Just
But yeah, continue.
go for it, Kawaii. Defend this anime.
Okay.
Oh, let me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
sorry.
I'll let Anipode talk first.
Right. What notes did I make about this one? Right. Nothing too crazy, I think. I think the animation is quite simple. Nothing too crazy over there too, but it's okay. Also, I will say that I think this show can be a bit repetitive at times. For example, the way whenever she has to diagnose, we go into her head and this melody plays. That can be a bit repetitive sometimes. I also wasn't feeling as strong about the first few episodes because I'm.
Oh, by the way, before I let you continue, do you know the whole brain the brain scene where she used the brain? You know what it reminds me of? Jimmy Neutron.
Right. That was a long time ago. So, like, the one thing I'm bothered with this show is that I was expecting her to be the doctor to put the diagnosis on. Well, oh, sorry, I was muted. So the issue I had with the first few episodes, well, actually still now, is that she, as a doctor, I would rather see her put diagnosis and cure people who are alive and her patients. I find it a bit weird sometimes how she sometimes play police. She's supposed to be a doctor, but she's like almost like police. I'm also going back to the episode with the whole blue blood and the dinosaur, where she was like, "You're under arrest," and I thought that was very weird. So I will say though the mystery that was before with the people who caught on fire because of the matches, that was actually a bit interesting because it was a more complex mystery. I will give it that. I like that. But as a whole, I would probably agree that it's been not the strongest show. Even for me, I think it's quite weird sometimes the way she's acting. And also, we kind of go back to the same thing with the latest episode with the whole situation with the mother who changed the use boxes. That was like, wow. I'm just rambling over here now. Yeah, as a whole, not too strong about this one either. Actually, it's okay at times, but I just cannot handle how she is more of a police than a doctor. Yes, it's called Doctor Detective, but I just find that to be a bit weird. Yeah.
Okay. For me, I'm not sure if I would put this as like my top 5 of the season, but I'm actually enjoying this quite a bit. Now, well, I'm just gonna start off with what I like about it. So I do think that there is some great mystery surrounding this. I do like how, yeah, okay, I get it. It is kind of weird, that Ameku is like supposed to be a doctor, but she's doing a lot of detective work. I get that, but they did kind of establish early on that her field is like her department is like investigative pathology. So that does kind of involve her solving cases and like medical anomalies that the police that's like out of the norm in a normal hospital environment. Like the police can't quite solve so easily. So I really like how they're blending. They do blend like the medical knowledge with like the whole mystery, with mystery. And as someone who obviously isn't too well versed in medicine and all that, I really like that. I think that was handled really well, and also like the fact that we actually do get to learn quite a bit about some medical terminology as well. I think this anime does a really great job at you know, touching upon a lot of medical terminology. Like so far we've, you know, the whole thing with methylene blue and the blue blood. There is some truth to that, although there is some truth to that condition. It does exist, although I'm pretty sure the blood isn't actually that blue in real life. Also, with the latest episode, where the mom of the kid had Munchausen syndrome, I believe that's what it's called. That's actually an actual thing. We also learned about epilepsy and how it's sometimes called automatism. I think that's what it was called. That's what I believe that's terminology they use. Also, in the spontaneous combustion arc, one thing that I did not know is that, and one thing this anime touched upon, is that domestic abuse victims, they would go to different hospitals to like avoid stigma and all that. So that's something that's like a really interesting fact. So yeah, you can learn quite a bit from the show, and I really do appreciate that. And one thing that Ryu touched up, one opinion that Ryu had about this show that I'm not sure I can really agree with, is that, you know, like he said something about like how this show doesn't have a lot of tact to it, or like it doesn't exactly take itself as seriously, I don't really agree with that, because like, come on, this is anime. Like, obviously we're not, like, I don't think this Ameku M.D ever prided itself in becoming like an actual like medical documentary or like some medical encyclopedia type show. Like, it's not like it's okay for an anime to like fudge the details or something of stuff. It's okay for anime to like dramatize or exaggerate. It's fiction. Like, anime is the perfect medium for that. Like, we've seen it time and time again when it comes to anime. Like, there's nothing that's particularly wrong with it. So yeah. Also, as for what I don't like about this show, yeah, Memory called this show brain dead writing. I'm not sure if I fully agree with that, but yeah, there are some moments on the show where I'm like, okay, that's pretty stupid. Mainly, the burning shed scene. There's one scene in the spontaneous combustion arc where the shed was burned. They're in a wooden shed. Ameku and Kotori and some other characters. They're in the burning shed that's literally on fire around them. And yet, Takao was having a whole ass conversation with one of the characters.
Yeah.
That is easily the dumbest part of that whole episode.
I remember that episode. I was so angry with the guy feeling sorry for us. I couldn't do anything for you. You could have called the police or something.
Right.
You coward.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
The domestic violence happened, and he was like, "No, I wasn't able to do anything." Yeah, you were. You were a witness. Call the police. Do something. So I'm like, you know, this wouldn't have happened if you had like stood up a bit. You know, had some balls.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Yeah.
But yeah, and also there's a lot, you know, some of the other stuff you guys criticize. I mean, I can definitely understand where you guys are coming from. But for the most part, like, I don't think I've found some of those scenes to be as bothersome to me. But yeah, other than that, Ameku M.D, I'm not sure if I would say it's the best show this season, but I still really enjoy like the mystery aspect of it all. I really enjoy the amount of medical knowledge terminology that goes along with it, even if, you know, it is a bit exaggerated sometimes. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me. Any final thoughts on Ameku M.D? Or are we ready to move on?
Move on.
All right.
I don't get the whole delay thing. Like they had to do like a 1 or 2 weeks delay because they want to allow Sakura Ayane to like have a spotlight in doing medical stuff as to promote the anime even more. I was like, bruh, just
Is that
get
the
the
reason?
anime. Yeah, apparently.
That's okay. That's interesting. But yeah, other than that, I think we're ready to move on now. Next up on the list is a show I'm not watching. Welcome to Japan, Miss Elf.
Let's go! Oh yeah, let's go! Oh man, trust me when I say that this is a very underrated anime this season, man. Because you think I have a crush at work is a tough romance. This right here is not romance, by the way, but it is showing a great, fantastic bondship between Mary and Kazuhito, man. Like, oh my god, the way those two just share this amazing bond from her going to the real world and then sharing this moment throughout the season is just like, oh my god, I want more already, man. Even though the fact that she only still sees him as a friend, but you can already tell that she's starting to see him differently as the story progresses. But for me personally, though, is how you introduce an isekai character to the world of Japan and how she got infatuated so quickly, how she wants to learn more about the world rather than being very scared about this world. She wants to explore the world a bit more. Kazuhito had to be there to support her and just showing her around. It just really touches my heart to see how this kind of resembles me when I introduce people to places that I'm staying right now. Just show them where to go and stuff. And just this is what I want to see more from anime. How you bring an isekai character to your world and you introduce them to your culture. And now that is something that I enjoy watching. But obviously that is just like one of the fun aspect of the anime. But the best part for me is that how they had to hug each other to go back to the isekai world, sleep together, and just doing all these non-coupley things which make them look like a couple. Oh man. Dude, Elf Girl is definitely one of my top anime to watch this season, and I'm very glad that I anticipated this to be a very good anime from just watching the trailer already, man. Like when this anime first introduced, I was like, it looks generic. But then when I watched the trailer, I was like, okay, maybe there's something going on with this anime. I might give this a watch. And then the first episode comes out. Oh man, I am so sealed for more already, man. So I really enjoyed this anime for all the aspects I just described. But for me personally, though, is the elf girl Mary, man. She has so much energy, and I really like her a lot, man. How she willing to stick by Kazuhito most of the time. Oh, best girl right there. Definitely best girl.
For me, I'm a bit behind on this one. I watched 3 episodes, and but I would say it's enjoyable. It's not often we actually get reverse isekais. We usually just get usual isekais. So to see the elf Welcom and her exploring Japan is very nice to me. I also liked, the romantic chemistry between them. So I would say it's wholesome. Now, because I'm only watched 3 episodes so far, I cannot say too much. I will say though the 3rd episode I wasn't feeling too strong about because it kind of felt like the reverse isekai was like replaced by normal isekai because he's going back to the normal world more. But I'm gonna wait and not say too much because I still have other episodes to go. So yeah, I mean it has potential, so I'm gonna keep watching.
All right. Other than that, I think we're ready to move on now. Next up on the list, Okitsura.
All right. I guess you don't have much to say.
Oh my days, Okitsura. Oh my days. Yeah. You know what? I just let Google answer this for you.
Oh.
You want to hear it again?
It's shit.
There we go.
No, you put Google Translate through that, man.
So
you ask ChatGPT to roast it. Yeah, I can say. I'm just gonna get my notes here. Okay, first of all, my first note actually that I made about this one was quote amazing show. It's actually one of my favorites so far. First of all, it's because I personally want to go to Okinawa someday. And this show really shows in a really good and educational way how it works in Okinawa in a fun way. I really like that. The romance is very wholesome. I actually cannot choose. I know I said Hina before, but I cannot actually choose who to ship with him, with Teru, because while Kana is the one making the moves, Hina, she's more the cute, innocent one. Doesn't
I'm
really
sorry,
understand.
man. Kind of deserve to be the winner, girl. I don't care
Agreed.
about.
Yeah,
I mean,
agreed.
I
I
understand.
don't care what people say. Kind of deserve more than what the other girl does. To be honest, the other girl just like she's just so annoying.
I
Ooh,
wouldn't say she.
I
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
say
say
that.
she's annoying. No, I wouldn't say that. She's just innocent. She doesn't understand this. But what? Maybe something happens in the future. We can't really say. And the next thing is because Madla is not the only one. I've seen too many people say, I heard quote terrible from my own friend Ye reacts, and I've heard other people say this is shit, and I'm like, okay, I understand this is not for you, but that is kind of going very far to just say it's that because I don't agree, especially with all the knowledge we have, the romance we have, and the facts about Okinawa. I think the animation is quite good too. Maybe not top class, but it's good. Now, if I'm gonna have a con on something though, it is with the animation. That is mostly some of the CGI. For example, when they have the folk dances for example, the traditional dances, the CGI is a bit unsynced sometimes, it looks weird sometimes. But luckily, that doesn't happen too often. The comedy is very funny. I especially remember, for example, when everyone started dancing in the classroom, and Hina got this picture in her mind when he's a grandpa. Oh, I don't know how to make this dance. That was funny. Or the fact when in Okinawa they say, let's go do this, but it only means I'm going to do this. And he joins her on the bus, and she's like, oh, I wanted to be with him, but he's just sitting with his snacks next to her on the bus. That was also very fun. And now we also had the whole typhoon arc too, which was very wholesome especially between Kana and him. Now another thing that I thought was a bit weird was the whole at the end of the episode where we got the backstory on how they learned how to whistle.
Yeah.
And we got Kana, at the end after the credits, like she was supposed to teach everyone how to do the whistling, and she like opened her mouth like
Oh,
this.
the
And I was like,
detail on that tongue in her mouth. Oh man.
yeah. But yeah, I would say really that this is absolutely one of my favorite shows so far. I'm really enjoying. I don't understand the hate at all. I'm really enjoying this one. I guess that's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm gonna have to largely agree with you on that. I wouldn't say it's like my anime of the season or anything. But yeah, it's still a really enjoyable show. Comedy's great. I love the characters. I mean, especially Kana. I mean, the Kana's infatuation with Taro, man. Like, yeah, that's the OTP right there. Like, I know. Like this, I know the anime is trying to set up like Taro has a crush on Hina though, but like, come on, like the chemistry between and the chemistry between Kana and Teru, as well as Kana's adorable infatuation with Teru. It's just like how can that not be the official couple? And I think from what I've seen from discussion online, that seems to be the popular sentiment. That's the ingredients with the popular sentiment that Kana is the one and only girl for Teru. So yeah, I really hope that those two end up becoming a thing. Also like man, her name escapes me, but yeah, that one girl that
Who ships Kana and Teru, right?
yeah. She's great. Easy contender for Wing Woman of the year. But of course, not to knock on Hina either. Hina is just absolutely adorable in her own right. Even though even though I don't ship her with Teru, I still like her I still think she's adorable as a character. Great performance of Akari Kito. Crazy how Akarikito is voicing a second girl named Hina. That's also
Okay,
a
first
love
things first.
rival.
I need to say this. The one thing I can give credit for the Okitsuka is that Akarikito and Farazo Ai, they did a fantastic job with the Okinawa accent. It's not easy to it's not easy to voice a character with an accent, and they did a fantastic job for it. As much as it pretty much hurt their throat to say all those Japanese words without properly practicing it. But let's just say they did a fantastic job with the Okinawa accent, and they deserve a lot of praise for it. But the plot of the story,
Yeah, I do agree with you on the Okinawa. Yeah, in fact, like, just hearing Akarikito speaking Okinawa is just it's so cute. I mean, she could be speaking straight gibberish for all I care, and I would still love her for it. But yeah, what else do I want to say? Oh yeah, it's also really interesting. Like, I'm really liking like how much we get to learn about Okinawa culture through this anime. I mean, it's plainly obvious at this point that part of the reason why this series exists is to promote Okinawa culture and educate people on Okinawan culture, which is great because I think this anime really does a great job at portraying just how unique of a culture it is. Like it's pretty much like its own. It's really like an entirely different country or world compared to even Japan, like mainland Japan. So yeah, it's really.
I would usually say, from my point of view, it's almost like the Japanese version of Hawaii, if we look at it that way.
Yeah, I can
Both
definitely.
with the
I can definitely see
tropical,
that.
but for example, Hawaii also has like their own almost language, like aloha and stuff like that, and Okinawa has their own words as well. But I would say and also they got their own traditional music too. So I would say it's kind of similar to Hawaii, even though I haven't been to Hawaii. But
But yeah, as for cons, I can list. I don't think I really have anything that I'm strongly against, other than maybe like Teru being a little bit too dense. He
oh
does,
yeah.
he does have quite a few moments where he's like, oh man, yeah, he's a bit too dense for my liking. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have much else to say about Okitsura. Other than it's been so far very enjoyable slice of life. I guess you can call it a rom-com anime. But yeah, other than that.
oh, by the way, Okinawan people are not that tanned. By the way, they're not that tanned.
Really?
Yeah, they are not that tanned.
Have you been to Okinawa?
I saw pictures of Okinawa.
Okay. Maybe maybe some of them are. Maybe that's just a creative liberty taken by the series. Who knows? But yeah, on that, I think we are ready to move on now. Next up on the list is Medalist.
Yeah, a much better anime to air on a Saturday alongside Solo Leveling. Well, Medalist. First things first. A lot of people have when you see ice skating, the first thing, I don't know why, but when the people saw ice skating, the first thing that came to their mind was Yuri on Ice.
Yep.
Yuri on Ice. Not gonna lie, even that pop up in my head. Oh man, Yuri on Ice, 2017. 2016 actually.
Man,
Holy cow,
the chokehold that series had on Fujoshis everywhere was crazy.
Oh my god. But you have to be very careful with what you say about the characters in this anime. If you say one thing about the girls in this series, oh man, you'll be labeled with a P. So, did you watch Medalist?
No, I haven't.
Oh, let's just say that most of the characters are 10 to 13.
Oh.
Yeah. So you have to be very careful how you handle talking about this anime, because if you talk about the characters in any cultural way possible, you are finished by the internet. So, but the thing I need to phrase for this anime is that the way they handle childish personality for kids is amazing. Because not in a lot of animes you see kids behaving like kids. In this anime, they behave like kids, real kids, and how they handle being under pressure, how they handle being under the spotlight and being pressured to do this and that. Oh man, they did the manga artist manga creator of this series did a fantastic job portraying how kids really felt performing at the highest level of sports. And especially for ice skating, where everything is dependent on their performance, and it's just like our main girl, she's an introvert. She's a very shy introvert, but she has talent. But her mom does not believe in her, and the fact that the coach and pushes the mom to believe in her, and of course she being brave to prove her mom wrong. It's just like amazing. For the first 3 episodes, seeing how she go out of her comfort zone, go out of her weak mentality, and try to achieve her dream to be an ice skater is just, oh my god, that is just one of the most beautiful moments. Seeing that, and if you persist with it, if you like really focus on it, you will achieve what you get. And that is just a beautiful sight to see, the fact that she was able to perform well in her first competition, and she was able to demonstrate that she can indeed perform amazing choreography routines for the ice skating. It's just that her opponent is a league above her by many miles. So it's just showing that there's a pillar she needs to achieve, and she had to work to get to that pillar. So it's just like, this show is amazing, man. Just goes to show how finding the right person to help you achieve your goal. My legs are itchy. Finding the right person to help you achieve a goal will make the biggest difference in your life. And if you want to achieve a dream, you have to fight for it. And to fight for it, you sometimes have to step out of your comfort zone to do something that you're not comfortable doing. And she did what she did. And it's just like, oh my god. Medalist, man, really tackled the theme of ice skating and professional sport mentality really well. And it's just how they handle. Most importantly, is how they handle the individual characters of the right respectful age of the athletes. It's just like, damn, the author did his research really well for this anime, and not just go about to write some yaoi shit like for Yuri on Ice. So. Dude, no matter what people try to defend Yuri on Ice, I had to say this right now. Yuri on Ice, the main selling point is for those yaoi people that love to ship boys. Okay, there is no shipping. If you dare to ship in this anime, you are finished. So let's just say Medalist really focus on the theme of ice skating, not like focus on ice skating and then you just divert it away to like, random shipping. No. It focuses on ice skating and individual dilemma, and that is what I really like about this anime. At first, I thought this just an ice skating anime could be one of those like mediocre sports anime that just focus on kids' character, but no, it really truly focuses on the theme of professionalism, mentality, and of course breaking out of your how to say fear of performing in front of people. It's just how she was able to do all that. It's just like, oh my god, it just touches my heart how she just like, I did it, mom. I able to perform this and that, because like to ice skating, you have to start early, very early in your life, because you need to have a proper like training to make sure your body's conditioned to do all these routines, the spins, the acrobatic jumps and stuff like that, and it can actually damage your body if you're not done it properly. And you must really practice all that as a kid in order to allow your body to really get conditioned, ready to perform. And yeah, that's why people asking, why are you focusing on kids? Why not focusing on like teenagers or adults and stuff? It's because ice skating, you start early. You start early as a kid. kids, you see a lot of kids nowadays go ice skating because they not only the fact it is one of the sports that can allow you to be artistic and stuff, but also allow you to be free and do the thing that you do, the routine that you feel comfortable doing. It's about your own freedom. That's why a lot of kids enjoy doing ice skating, as much as it mostly focuses on girls doing it. But let's just say boys now is now getting popular for boys because of I can't really have to go back to it. You're on ice. But yeah. Let's just say it Medalist really tackles the theme of ice skating.
Right. I'm watching this too, and I have to agree. This is a really, really good show. I also, let's see what I said. Also to see the improvement of the main character. I forgot her name. Let's see, Inori. Like just as you say, she was also a bit unsure, and so was her mom. Oh, she's too old to do this ice skating stuff. But then I'm going back. We have some episodes ago with her teacher, Tsukasa. I think he started to do ice skating during adult age, and he still somehow managed to do very well. So he can be kind of a good role model for her if she's unsure if she's too old to do this. But I'm also, I enjoy seeing the improvement on the ice skating from Inori because she's really becoming better and better. She has a great coach, so that's really nice to see. I also like the comedy a lot. Just as Madlat said, the way they act like children are supposed to act. Collecting the worms, for example, having their mood swings. That adds to the comedy. Now, another thing that I want to point out, because the studio that is doing this one is called NG, I think. They're not known for doing like MAPPA quality, if we say it like that. So I would say they probably don't have... Now, I don't know the studio personally, but I would assume they don't have like the same budget or so. Because we have seen how the CGI when the girls are skating have been different from here and there. But I think with what they have, I still think they're doing the priorities right, because when Inori was skating, the CGI was quite visible. But then we had another girl that was ice skating, then the CGI became a little bit better. And then we had the pro skating, and we could barely see the CGI. So, if they have to prioritize, they prioritize the CGI on the most talented of the ice skaters, which I think that's how you're supposed to do it with a limited budget. If that was the case, I don't know, but if that was the case, then they directed that in such a good way with how to animate it. And yeah, I was also very, very interesting to know Tsukasa's story with how he got into this kind of job, and because of the rich family that took him in, and the wife died. So that was also very, very interesting backstory. I wish I could say more, actually, but as a whole, this one has also become one of my favorites this season. I think this directed very well. The story is very interesting, and I'm still hoping to see, because now we are in the situation where Inori is still quite new. She's still learning, but I'm hoping to see the end result where she's like almost like a pro, where we get to see like the final result of all her training. That's what I'm looking forward to see. So yeah.
All right. And like I said, I'm off watching this, so I think we can move on now. Next up on the list is Red Ranger Isekai. I've heard people say this is surprisingly good.
I don't think so.
Ooh.
But I'll talk later.
Okay. How much of a Power Ranger fan are you?
Not much.
Not much.
Then this
So
is enough for you then.
Yeah.
And this
that's
anime is
why I
not for
don't-
you then.
Yeah.
But for me, I grew up watching Power Rangers. Both the Japanese and the English version. And not gonna lie to you, the way that the Red Ranger went about to get isekai to the world and performing all these Power Ranger stunts really had me dead in terms of how I've seen him like summoning a Megazord out of nowhere without all four Rangers with him. doing the explosion, doing the poses, and spread and saying all these cringy lines. It's just like, oh my god, that is just like bruh, the one of the biggest bruh moment of that anime. But sadly, that is only the first 3 episodes. After that, we really went back to the whole concept of isekai, and now we are focusing on how he uses his Kizuna energy to go and figure out how to save the world, how you save the isekai world from the dark parasite or something. I forgot what it's called, but let's just say now we're focusing on how he able to utilize that ranger power to go and make the difference in terms of saving the people here from the dark matter. And it's just like, wow, it's just that is now back to the theme of being an isekai anime. But for me, the theme of this anime is about our main red ranger and the witch girl, the main girl for the series, and seeing those two having a nice coupley moment development from the latest episode put a smile to my face. And more so, I've been told that later in the season there will be a much bigger twist to the story. Not sure how much of a twist it can be, but I'll be looking forward to see whether or not the Red Ranger have a bigger part to play, or he's just gonna be there just to be a Red Ranger. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I dropped this one, but it's probably what you said. It's probably because I'm not too much into Power Rangers, and I guess I wasn't also a big fan of him going to the isekai and having his Power Rangers powers with him. I don't think that's a good combination, but I don't have anything else to say really.
All right, not watching this either, so I think we can move on right now. Next up on the list is Flowers and Asura. I know. Again, I wish Ryu. This is another anime where I wish Ryu was here because I know he's at least watching this one.
I'm watching it, but I have nothing really to say about it.
I'm not watching it at all.
Okay. Then I guess it's time we are ready to move on now. Next up on the list, oh man, I can't believe the words. These are the words that are gonna come out of my mouth. Next up on the list is Grisaia Phantom Trigger. Am I correct in assuming this is all me? Am I correct?
Go for it. No, Kawaii. Not gonna lie to you. I watched the anime. I just don't understand any shit of it. I just sat there. I was like, right, okay. Where's the fan service?
It is a fan service.
I think I've seen some people complain on your reactions too because you're complaining too much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, now you understand how I feel about Dear Last Season.
Yeah. I get it now.
Okay, go for it, Kawaii.
Okay. Now I've struggled as to how I should tackle this show because as a source material reader, I have talked so much about the comparisons to the visual novels in my live reactions. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pretty much just go by volume and just summarize my overall thoughts on the anime compared to the source material. So yes, for those who don't know, I am an avid Grisaia fan. I'm an avid Grisaia visual novel reader. I've played through pretty much every single installment in the Phantom Trigger series. The Phantom Trigger visual novel. So yeah, imagine my excitement when it was announced that this was going to get a full anime series. And then
it became Neverland Season 2.
Yeah. Oh well. And as Anapole mentioned, there was one person that criticized me on my episode 1 live reaction. He was like, "Oh, I was, they were expecting like an anime only perspective, but imagine their surprise when they find out I'm not anime only. I read the source material." So yeah, they were criticizing me for comparing it to the source material too much. Did I say, well, first of all, yeah, I'm sorry for that. But second of all, I mean, it sounded like it kind of made it sound like I spent like the entire live reaction shitting on the anime because I was a source material reader, which is not true. Because I have multiple times praised the anime adaptation, and in fact there are a few things where I think that I think the anime did better than the visual novel. But I'll get to that later. So yeah, like I said, going volume by volume. Overall, as a source material reader, as a visual novel reader, I am mixed on this series because there are things they did get right, but there are some things that they get wrong. So, first of all, first 3 episodes adapted volume 4. Yeah, because for those who don't know, you do have to watch the first 3 Grisaia Fan Trigger OVAs before you can watch this, before you can watch this anime series. Because the Phantom Trigger story is a linear storyline, which means that if you jump into this anime without watching the first 3 OVAs, you're probably going to be very confused. So yeah, first 3 episodes adapts volume 4. I really like how they adapted volume 4. I really like how it was spread into 3 episodes. Yes, they did, inevitably, like with many other anime adaptations of source material, they did cut some stuff out. They did cut some stuff out that I wish they didn't cut out. But for the most part, they did stay fairly faithful to the source material. I like how they nailed Chris's backstory. I like how they nailed her mother and daughter dynamic with Taiga. That was portrayed really well. And also the hostage situation at Kitaoka University, where Taiga was taken hostage, and Taiga and everyone in her class was taken hostage. Pretty much the whole school was taken hostage by terrorists. And Phantom Trigger inevitably came in and saved the day. The whole action scene in episode 3 surrounding that was done really well, in my opinion. And there were some anime-only touches, some really cool anime-only touches as well. One thing that came to mind actually this happened back in episode 2, with Taiga fending off the terrorists. No. One thing that popped into my mind was Chris going in and saving Taiga from the terrorists, because in the visual novel, there were only like 2 terrorists that took control of Taiga's classroom and took her and her classmates hostage. But in the visual novel, there was a lot more than that, and what's supposed to happen is Chris was only supposed to shoot like 2 terrorists, and she gets wounded and all that. That's what happened in the visual novel. In the anime, she goes full John Wick and just starts gunning down terrorists left and right. It was definitely really exciting to see, and I like the detail, and I like how how that episode ended off on a cliffhanger with Taiga. She did manage to take Chris's gun and defend herself against a couple of terrorists, but then you see many more terrorists, hearing the commotion and just closing in on her position, and it looked like that was the end for Taiga. And I like how they end up in that cliffhanger. That was a really nice touch. Like I said, the action scenes, they did cut off some stuff, but it was done really well. I'm not a big fan of the ending though. I think the ending to Volume 4 in the visual novel, I think that was better in my opinion. But it was still pretty good. Then we move on to the adaptation of episode 5, and yeah, as Mad Lad and Anipode probably have seen in my criticisms in Memories Discord, yeah, I'm not a fan at all of how they adapted Volume 5, because they cut out just so much content, and they pretty much rushed the whole visual novel to hell. They compressed an entire visual novel into 2 episodes, and for Volume 5, it just doesn't work. And I've seen the discussion from anime onlys online, from Reddit and all that, and I'm surprised by how many of them actually praised episodes 4 and 5, because I feel like the anime community is generally very good when it comes to pointing out when the pacing is rushed, or when an adaptation is rushed and all that, when there's something off going on with the pacing. So to see so many praise coming in for that rushed adaptation, in episode 5. It definitely surprised me. But hey, I mean, if the emotional impact, if it still comes off to anime onlys, and if you guys still enjoy it, if anime only still enjoy it, good for you. More power to you. But as a visual novel reader, I just cannot be pleased with how they adapted it. I will say though, they didn't nail the bath scene. They didn't nail the fan service scene in episode 4. I will give them credit for that. But when it came to the rest of the adaptation, when it came to episode 5 especially, absolutely not. I cannot say I enjoyed how they adapted season 5. Because when it comes to Haruto and Yuki and Murasaki's backstory, they just cut out so much content. They cut out quite a bit of the emotional impact when it comes to the backstory. A couple of the most egregious examples is, and I'm delving into heavy spoiler territory, so if you're not caught up, my apologies. But yeah, huge spoiler alert. The first egregious example comes in with the death of Murasaki and Yuki's parents. And in the anime, but yeah, it just kind of shows them dying for like a few seconds, and then that's pretty much the end of it. In the visual novel, it was much more impactful because what the anime failed to show was when Sadatoki and Yuka, I believe that's the name of the mom, when they died, when they were killed by one of Momotaro's henchmen. In the visual novel, they were holding each other's hands in their final moments. Sadatoki, no, I think it was Yuko that said, "Dear, where are you? Where are you, my husband?" Because she doesn't have very good eyesight, and Sadatoki reassures her that he's here and all that. And you see their final moments as they were grasping hands, as they were, as you can tell, they don't have much time left. And I just, in the visual novel, it was just so emotional. And to see them basically cut out that emotional impact in the anime, it greatly upsetted me. And another egregious example I have to point out is how the backstory ended. In the visual novel, after Saki was snapped out of her Phantom Blade state, what had happened was Yuki, because she also went into the Phantom Blade state, it greatly altered her mind, and it greatly damaged her mind. And what had happened was, in that back then in that moment, her mind reverted to like a childlike state. She was unable to remember what just happened. She was unable to remember why she was there. She was unable to remember even her own sister's name. And then Saki, upon seeing what had happened, what she had pretty much caused, she hugged her sister and she just broke down crying. That was completely absent in the anime. And I hated that because it really just because, Murasaki, she still carries the guilt of what happened that day to the present. She still felt a lot of guilt over that. That impacted her deeply. In fact, in the visual novel, before that scene, we saw like a vision she had with her mother, where she was like, "Mama, I've caused," she was like, "Mom, I've done something terrible. I don't think I can ever go back from that. I'm a monster and all that." So a lot of the lines you probably typically associate with, anime characters that feel guilt. But her mother reassures her, you still have people that care about you in the present. Do you still have a purpose in this world? And that was also cut out from the anime. And I hated that. And I don't understand why you would compact a volume like that into just 2 episodes. I don't understand why there was so much priority given to stretching out Volume 4 into 3 episodes, but Volume 5 only gets 2. Who made that decision? And yeah, there was just, and in general, the pacing of episode 5 just felt off. It was clearly rushed. So yeah. Also, and I saw one person point out that Momotaro's death felt very anticlimactic. Yeah, because it was at least a little bit more epic in the visual novel. So yeah, I don't understand. Like again, I don't understand why they compacted it to 2 episodes. Now, I know Volume 6, going to Volume 6, I know that was compacted into 2 episodes. However, I think the Volume 6 was a little bit shorter, so yeah, it didn't feel as rushed. The adaptation didn't feel as rushed. Yes, they did cut out some stuff that I wish they didn't cut out, but I was still I was actually for the most part I was very pleased with how Volume 6 was adapted, despite it being compacted into 2 episodes. I think the 2-episode format worked a little bit better when it came to Volume 6. Oh, one thing I will say though before I move on to Volume 6, yeah. Anime onlys are missing out on a few fan service scenes. I'm still disappointed that I cut out. I'll probably post it on Twitter after this podcast, sometime after this podcast. But yeah, I'll never forgive them for cutting out some fan service scenes. I thought Studio Ghibli was based with the fan service, but yeah. Considering what we got with the bath scene and the motorbike washing scene in episode, I believe 6. But yeah, I guess it just goes to show that I guess even Ghibli has their priorities. But yeah, anyways, going back to Volume 6, again, really like the adaptation. I really like how they handle Aoi's backstory and her characterization. There are some people saying that Aoi is basically like their favorite character in the whole series. Like they're one of their favorite Grisaia characters, which I wouldn't go that far, but I do completely understand why they would think that way. Aoi is definitely a great character. And I did point out in my episode 6 and 7 live reactions that before I watched the anime, I did go back and revisit my playthroughs, my let's plays for the visual novels, and I was surprised by how hostile and negative I was towards Aoi, because I didn't really hate her in the end. Like, I think what really didn't kind of rub me the wrong way was how dense she was at times, and like she was very dense compared to like other characters in the Fan Trigger series who came across as very intelligent and very professional. But yeah, again, I really liked Aoi in the end. There was some emotional impact to be had when it came to Volume 6 as well. There were some that were handled well, like with Haruto grieving Aoi's death. That was handled really well. And there was some that wasn't handled all that well. Namely, Aoi's death, mainly the moment right after Aoi was killed by Kuroe. In the visual novel, there was a scene where Ichiro was desperately trying to save Aoi's life. She was putting pressure on the wound. She had a blood bag hooked up to her arm, and she was pretty much demanding everyone to pleading with them to take Aoi to the nearest hospital. But Aoi was like, "No, don't even worry about it. I'm already a goner." And eventually, she accepted that fact. Ichiro accepted that fact. Aoi was a goner. That was cut out from the anime, and I didn't really. That was probably the most disappointing part of the Volume 6 adaptation. However, I did mention before that there are some things that I actually think the anime did better than the visual novel, and what I mean by that is not just the action scenes from Volume 4, but also the fight scene between Aoi and Kuroe. I really like how in both the anime and the visual novel, there was a point in the fight where both parties ran out of ammo and they resort to close quarters hand-to-hand combat. And in both the anime and the visual novel, Kuroe kills Aoi by stabbing her with a knife. However, in the visual novel, how Aoi died was when she ran out of ammo, she reached for her sword, but then she realized, oh shit, I gave my sword to Haruto. And she pretty much has a well shit, I'm screwed moment. She basically says, huh, well this just isn't my lucky day. And then after that she just gets stabbed. And the anime, they did the anime was better because in the anime we actually see Kuroe, swinging her knife, and Aoi's putting up her fist and squaring up when Kuroe pulled out her knife. And we did see some hand-to-hand combat before Aoi eventually gets stabbed to death. So yeah, I really like how the anime handled that. Also, Aoi gouging Kuroe's eyes, that was much brutal. Actually, that was much more brutal in the anime than it was in the visual novel. Because in the anime, you can actually hear Kuroe, crying out in pain because, obviously gouging your eyes hurts a lot. And also her glasses actually, Aoi smashes her glasses in that scene. That didn't happen in the visual novel. In the visual novel, Kuroe just left her glasses in the car when she went to go fight Aoi. So that was also a really nice touch. And you could tell, and also in the anime, she was really shoving her thumb in Kuroe's eye socket. You can actually see how badly it would hurt. Whereas in the visual novel, you could kind of see her jamming her thumb in her eye, but it wasn't as brutal as it was in the anime. So yeah, again, really nice touch. And also the anime succeeded in the fan service that it actually did adapt. So yeah, and now as of the time of recording this video, the most recent episode was episode 8. And that adapted both volume 7 and 5.5, which is surprising to me at first because I thought they were going to completely skip over volume 5.5, but it turns out they didn't. And volume 5.5 and 7, those are actually my least favorite volumes in the series, so I don't have much to say on that, other than I do remember Arisaka's bad story, so for the most part, as far as I'm concerned, they did a pretty good job adapting that. And there probably were a lot of other parts they cut out, but I don't remember it too well. Now, I mentioned multiple times before in my live reactions, I'm not sure how they're going to adapt. I wasn't sure how they're going to adapt this series from here on out because the anime is only going to be 13 episodes long. We're on episode 8, which means that they have volume 7 and volume 8. Those are the only 2 volumes that they need to adapt. And those 2, volume 7 and 8, are the longest installments in the Phantom Trigger series by far. So for them to come back that into 5 episodes, that greatly concerns me. And I think what's inevitably going to happen is that they're going to rush through. They're probably going to compact volume 7 into 2 episodes. So I think they're going to end it off on episode 9. And then the rest of the anime is going to be adapted to adapting volume 8. Dedicated to adapting volume 8. If that's the case, then I guess for volume 7 it could work because that's mostly, as far as I'm concerned, filler. That's kind of filler. It's kind of filler-esque. So I think there's a lot in volume 7 you can cut out and it'll work just fine. But for volume 8, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that because there's so much that happens in volume 8. And if they were to compress that, an entirety of volume 8 into 3 episodes, that's not gonna. I don't think that's gonna. I'm greatly concerned, to say the least. I don't think that's gonna sit well with me. And to put it in perspective as to just how huge volume 8 is, and to put into perspective how huge volume 7 is, I remember when I did my playthroughs for those 2 volumes, each playthrough was an hour to an hour and 30 minutes long. There were some playthroughs that I did that were over 2 hours long. So to compress all, and I think volume 7 had 19 parts, and volume 18, I can't remember how many volume 18 had, but it definitely had more than 12 parts. So to compress all that content into just 5 episodes, I don't know, man. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, other than that, I've gone on length with Phantom Trigger already. So yeah, overall, The fan trigger anime. Yeah, a lot of things I liked, a lot of things I don't like. But for the most part, I mean, I'm still mixed on how they adapted Phantom Trigger, the visual novels. But for the most part, I'm leaning towards positive. I'm leaning towards liking how the anime. So yeah, that's pretty much all I had to. Yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say. Matt, I know you were expecting like me to go for like 50 minutes. I don't know if it's gonna be that long, but yeah.
Well, to be honest though, that's what I call passion.
Mhm.
That is what I call passion, man.
Yeah.
That is what I call passion. Because like, not gonna lie, seeing you talk about this anime a lot just reminds me how I go in with their life. But also
Exactly.
like just goes to show how much you cared about the content for this anime. I mean, of course, you sat through hours and hours of gameplay, reading the visual novel lines and stuff like that, which I'm not a fan of nowadays, to be honest. So it's just passion. So I have to show you respect for it, and that's why I decided not to touch this anime in reaction wise. So making content for this, because I think it's best if you leave it to the visual novel readers in this case.
Right.
I still watch it. Don't get me wrong, but when I watched the anime, I was just like, okay, okay. Backstory here, backstory there. Love girls with nice love good, nice looking girls. Where's the fan service?
Yeah, right. And yeah, like
because the thing I like about Grisaia Phantom is not Yuji taking all the girls for himself and being such a Chad most of the time to the girls. It's the sex scene from the visual novels. Yeah.
Yeah, the sex. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I know you said early before. You think Yumiko is your best girl. If that's the case, you should definitely check. You should definitely check out her route in the Fruit of Grisaia.
Yeah, I watched the playthrough. I watched the playthrough for Root. It's almost similar to the anime, but they just cut out a lot of content from it.
They cut out so much content. Like her route in the visual novel is easy. It's so peak. Like it's easily one of my favorites in the series. But yeah, like I said, like you mentioned fan service, and like I said, they cut out quite a bit. I'll post it on Twitter. You know, like some of the fan service they cut out that I wish they could have adapted. But yeah, other than that, I think we're ready to move on now, because I know you say you didn't have too much to say about it. But yeah, next up on the list is an anime the first anime that I dropped, but I'm putting on here because I want to shit on it. Anyways, I'm falling in love with you. Did any of you guys watch this? Huh?
What anime is that?
That's like the reverse harem type show.
Reverse harem. The only thing I heard.
Shit.
The only thing I heard, like there was one in Memories Discussion. I forgot his name. He was like, well, the dad just let her go out and have a camping with just the guys.
I think it was Aldwick's
house. He trusts them.
Yeah.
So he trusts them.
Yeah. I guess. Yeah, I'm not watching this one, so go for it.
I have nothing to say other than this reverse harem is actually quite mediocre. The boys are like, I want her, I want her, I want her, I want her. Okay, who's gonna be the winner? I'm just gonna stay to the end to see. To be honest, I don't really care who she end up with, to be honest. So
yeah. Oh man. Yeah, this show easily an early contender for most disappointing anime of 2025.
Yeah.
I went to this anime expecting, I was hoping to get. I don't watch a lot of reverse harems, so I went to this anime. I went to this anime hoping that this would be a nice change of pace from the regular harems that I often watch, that I've watched before. And it did not turn out to be that way. First of all, the animation. Now, I said before, I don't like dunking on an anime for animation. It's not the end all be all when it comes to a series for me. As long as it delivers. On the other aspects, I can look past mediocre animation. You know, as long as it's not like just straight up murder on the eyes. However, this anime did not deliver on the other aspects very well, so I'm going to shit on the animation. The animation is pretty dookie. Yeah, it's, oh my god, choppy doesn't even begin to describe it. Yeah, you can tell like the studio behind this, they pretty much have a shoestring budget when it comes to the animation. It's pretty damn hard to look at times. Second of all, the characters. I think the main girl's name is Mizuho or Mizuno. She's pretty cute, but her chemistry with the guys, it's just, it's very lacking.
No, not it, man. Not it. Is not it.
And especially and also like the whole thing surrounding I think the purple hair guy's name, I think his name is Kizuna. Yeah, how it started off with her, basically with him assaulting her and like pinning her on the walls of the showers and all that, and him like forcing a kiss on her and all that. Yeah, even though they're supposed to be like friends, and she looks at him kind of like a younger brother figure. Yeah. Now, honestly, I think it's clear that this is becoming a cliche at this point. This is becoming a cliche when it comes to like shoujo. When it comes to shoujo romance type shows. Yeah, apparently a lot of women or a lot of shoujo fans really like that type of thing, where the male lead is like very aggressive when it comes to the main female lead. However, I think that it's, to say the least, hit or miss. I know people criticize The Sign of Affection for the same thing. However, I definitely think now this could be of course, now to be fair, this could be just my bias towards A Sign of Affection, but I do think A Sign of Affection, that example wasn't as bad as what we got with this series. So yeah, that was kind of off-putting, and also like you could tell like things between Kizuna and Mizuho, like Mizuno, whatever, like things became pretty awkward for them after that episode, so that kind of degraded the enjoyment factor as well. Also, like, and just in general, like the other guys, like they're all supposed to be like friends and all that, like with the main girl, but like, yeah, it doesn't really come off that well from what I saw from the series. I mean, yeah, they do have some moments. I do like the scene where they celebrated her birthday in the first episode. That was pretty sweet. But other than that, there wasn't a lot of moments where I felt a genuine friendship was going on. Especially after Kizuna made his move, because now there seems to be like a rift going on between them now that, you know, he has feelings for her now. So yeah.
Getting spicy.
Yeah, and also I think just in general, the anime just feels lifeless. Like comedy is non-existent. Which is like, I feel comedy is pretty much non-existent, which is something that you pretty much should expect from a lot of a romance or rom-com type anime. And yeah, everything just feels flat. I mean, there's no whimsy, there's no cuteness, there's barely any wholesomeness when it comes to this show. And so yeah, that's why I pretty much dropped this show after episode 3.
I don't blame you for dropping it, to be honest.
Yeah, I wanted to give this after episode 1. I wanted to give this show a chance, but it just started falling.
You know what's funny? They just keep jumping from teenage days to adult days, back to teenage days, then they start with the adult days. Can you just focus on one timeline before jumping to the future? Jesus Christ, man! Yeah, like I get it. You're trying to hint that she's now have a professional life as a manga artist, and then she will meet with her childhood friend again.
Right.
Who did she end up with then?
I guess
don't tell me,
they really
don't
want to
tell
keep
me
that a
that
secret.
Don't tell me she ended up being single after all that.
I guess that's like I think that's just a big mystery this series really wanted to set up. But yeah, other than that, I don't have much to say other than yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I'm just gonna watch to the end to see who she ends up with. I swear to God, if she ends up being single and all the guys just being pussy about asking her like officially dating her and stuff, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, if you think about it though, most of the guys have a very interesting personality. Only two I can see make a better progressive story, helping with her, but the other two. I don't know, man. I much rather just focus on two guys than four guys after her. I mean, that's why I'm not really into reverse harem, because guys coming after one girl, all guys coming after one girl, it just feels weird, very weird.
I'm sure there's some. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see that. I mean, I'm sure there's some reverse harems that are actually good, but this is not one of them. Oh, also one thing I forgot to touch on. Yeah, apparently the series takes place during COVID.
Oh my God, it doesn't even feel like COVID.
Yeah, because I mean, I know. Yeah, there are some scenes where like schools, some school activities are canceled because of COVID spreading around. But I'm like, okay, I don't know how Japan was during 2020, but I feel like you should start seeing a lot more people wearing masks. I feel like there should be a lot. Start seeing a lot more people like social distancing and all that. I mean, so yeah, we are already getting to a point where we're having series adapted that took place during COVID. So I don't. That's I mean, I guess it's a pretty interesting premise, but it's kind of wasted on this show.
Yeah, pretty much, I guess. But anyways, let's move on to the final anime of this list. Oh,
yeah, and the last anime on the list is Momentary Lily. Now, I put this on the list because I know at least Anipode is watching this.
I'm watching it.
Oh, okay.
Not for the plot.
Oh,
not for the plot. Not for the plot.
Oh,
for the plot.
The plot. The other plot.
I'm thinking of the pool episode.
Dude, go hands, man. Why'd you guys be horny about this? The jiggle physics, man. The jiggle physics. Jesus Christ, stop with the jiggle physics, man. I get it. You want to attract the cultured people watching it and make them stay for the plot. Well, too bad. I'm here for the other plot, not the plot. So, go for it, Anipole. Save this anime.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, oh, he's back. Yes, so overall, I think this show is quite bad, actually.
Really?
A lot of times it doesn't make sense.
Oh, end the podcast. End the podcast. Anipole has said it. It's quite bad.
Right. No, I'm gonna mention some more things. I'm losing brain cells sometimes watching, what's going on. But I guess because I've kept watching, I've gotten used to it. So now I'm like, oh right, it's cooking session time where she cooks. Yeah. They have become sort of enjoyable, but as a whole, I don't really like the show. I don't like the character style on the monsters. I've said this before. They look like alien titans with Beyblades on their heads. I don't like that. Very weird style on them. And I was also, and I have not watched the latest episode, but I watched the episode before that. I actually thought that humanity had been wiped out completely, and it was just the girls. But it looks like they were just in shelters, hiding from the monsters, and everyone was now reuniting with their families. I know another reactor friend of mine said that okay, this kind of takes away the excitement of the show if that everyone is alive. Actually, I don't really care either way. Actually, now, if I'm gonna give this show something good, this could actually be something that could improve the story for the future. It's the backstory with Renge, because we don't really know much about Renge, and now as I said, I didn't watch the latest episode, but before the episode before that, with her trying to find her family and the video about her possible sister, and her having the backstories, of the girl that died. Why do I keep seeing her? Why do my injuries keep healing? So there is some interesting things going on there. So, because I think for now at least we can assume she's not human, and that's where my reactor friend, said that she might actually be programmed to wipe out humanity, but maybe she forgot. Maybe she had like Son Goku, he fell down and hurt his head, and then he became good. So maybe she had something similar like that. She forgot that she's supposed to be evil. I don't know. So that's something that keeps interest me. I'm also kind of interested actually how this anime will end. So that keeps me going. As a whole, it's been quite underwhelming actually, the show, but at least there are some interesting concepts with Renge going on. So I guess I'll watch it for that. I don't think I have anything else to add. So yeah.
All right, and then Mala, do you have anything else to add?
Nope, just there for the culture.
All right.
Just skim watch the anime and just see how the internet react to some of the stuff. That's about it.
Gotcha. All right, well, I'm not watching this, so that is pretty much all the anime that we have that we plan to talk about for this podcast. Is there anything else? Is there any other anime that you guys want to talk about real quick, or are we ready to wrap this up?
I guess the only thing I want to say is that I think that the online shopper has been surprisingly enjoyable, actually.
I dropped the anime. I don't even know why you're still watching it, to be honest.
I mean, it is generic. It is, I agree, but I still enjoy it somehow. I'm not.
Oh yeah! Before we end the podcast, can't you say that the Bang Dream Eve Machika, easily one of the most darkest season of Bang Dream I've watched since I watched Bang Dreams.
Really?
Yeah, one of the darkest season. Like, bruh, if you watch the movie Dark Swan, yeah, it's literally that right now. Holy shit! I'm scared for some of the characters in the series, man. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep. That's all I can say.
Yeah, I'm done too.
All right. Other than that, I think we can wrap this up now. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to these guys' channels. Follow me on Twitter. And I will see you guys next time.